Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting started here in just one moment. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is what it's going to sound like. Sorry, that's just how it's going to be.
Why does it sound weird?
It's probably because like we each have a mic. I'm sure I'm bleeding through on yours. You're bleeding through on mine. You know, I could turn mine away from you a little bit. Turn it down a touch. Turn it down a touch. There we go.
Hi.
Wow.
What? Am I peeking? Alright, I'm trying again. We are trying. Rogue says we sound fine. I trust Rogue.
Yeah, I trust him too. Well, I could turn you down a little bit right in here. All right, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good, actually.
There you go. If the camera should be back on us instead of Mario.
Nah, we're just getting started. Mario's gonna bring us in here.
Dun 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 dun. Hey! Yeah, I notice you. Hey! Walk out of here! That's it. I've had enough of your shit. Going for you.
Oh! No! Ah! Ah! Turboshan's talking smack already. He said, "Hey Mike, phone cameras take 4K pictures now." I don't know what the deal is. Also, it's like we sent it over Discord. Doesn't Discord probably like?
I texted it to Jeff, then Jeff sent it to you on Discord, and you had to blow it up because we were small in it. Look,
Yeah, things are gonna get smushed.
give me a break. You tweet yet?
No, I'll tweet right now.
Stop playing.
I've tweeted like twice in the last
I
hour.
want
So
you to eat again.
all right. You texted it? He said, like, as if texting's not a perfectly acceptable thing among the Zillennials and the Gen Xers, Gen Zers. All right, I'm tweeting. Hello, everybody. Mike's gonna go potty. We're gonna get started. Well, you might be able to hear that. You know what? Actually, he got him. I really hope the door's closed. Actually, otherwise we're gonna get kicked off the. No, don't! He says he'll open it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna tweet. Quote. Do. All right, everybody. Might get out of here. Back up. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Starting here in mere minutes. Watching live right now, hit that thumbs up while we're getting started. It'll help people find us while we're live. We really appreciate. We're gonna give Mike an apple. We don't want him to die. No! All right, everybody, welcome to the show. We're getting started. This is Mike Minotti. He's carrying Mario as he comes over here into the studio. Oh, he's gonna put him in the fridge. Bye, Mario. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, there you go. That's the way to go. Okay, well, he's going to grab a beer. All right. I hope everybody is ready for Game of the Year conversation. We're about to get started right now. Mike!
Hi.
All right, let's bring us up. Actually, let's just go right into it. Hello, everybody.
My phone.
Bend over, I'll show you. Welcome. This is our Game of the Year episode. We will be starting here any moment. We got... Oh, there it is. It's literally on the chair.
That's a funny place.
It's literally where your ass was.
You're trying to help me.
Yeah, so there's going to be a bit of an echo, everybody. We're going to try to... we will try not to be too loud because otherwise there will just be an echo.
Yeah, we're screaming. It'll be better for like this.
Yes, so as we kind of just talk into our own microphones.
All right. I can't DM you, Sean. I can't get onto my Discord right now. But send me your email and I'll email it to you.
Yes, and then tomorrow night, we'll be doing the Xbox era. Grubb's Miss Spectacular. Our annual tradition will continue. It'll be just me and Nick. I'm pretty sure he said other people will be there, but no. I'm going to kick him out of the call. It's always just me and Nick. So, we'll see. All right. I think we are about ready to get going.
Yeah, we'll just get right up on the mic and just talk to you guys like this. Hopefully everybody really enjoys the sound of that.
Okay. Yeah, we're happy to be in the same room. That felt good. It felt good just hit flesh. Instead of just the pillow that I put Mike's face on that I punched.
We just spit on you at some point in the middle of that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's not hate. All right, just calm yourself.
What's hate?
Sorry, Nick was already mad about the list. You just calm yourself. We'll get to it as we get to it. All right.
Harder when I can't see what I'm on.
Man, the button is way. You know what? I meant to my phone. All right, everybody. This is we got a couple of minutes so before it officially goes into territory where this is our first podcast ever. Right now, this is just normal getting set up.
I tweeted it at you. Hi, Christian.
Twitter does a pretty good job of compressing stuff.
I'm the same height as him. Well, he's a little taller than me.
Like a half an inch taller than him. You want to stand up?
All right, let's do it.
Hey.
If everyone thought it was short.
That Mike is deceptively tall.
Hey guys, we have like 10 special categories you can see here. There's one you want to do on the fly. You can do it in a super chat. We will do your category.
Yeah, you can just let us know, and we'll do your category if you guys super chat it to us. Yeah, Paul Newhouse. I'll answer that again on the show proper. But I told my wife not until after Christmas. But after Christmas,
don't want to ruin any Christmas pictures.
Yeah. All right.
Immortality feet tall. Excessive nudity tall. I always expected Mike to be like Danny DeVito.
Is that playing? You guys hearing that? I have no idea if you guys are actually getting that.
Probably the first time I've been more tan than you. I still have a bit of my Orlando glow.
I only ever go outside to like do yard work, so.
Hey, thank you, Tenet. That's very nice of you to say. I hear music. They hear it.
You guys heard it?
Yeah, they hear it.
Well, I mean, you guys probably hearing like the, whatever this is. I want that.
What is that?
That's it was supposed to be Sonic R, and now it's lo-fi beats to relax to.
Those are nice too, though. But you should definitely put Sonic R back on. Who has more chest hair? Oh, easily.
Oh,
me.
Mike, for sure.
Easily. Here, I'll give you a little. Easily. There you go. That's free. In fact, who was it? Was it Backlar complaining about back hair? Back hair alar?
Back hair alar? Yeah,
he's
sure.
got. I guarantee he's got nothing on me. No way.
You know what? I'm just gonna put the music in afterwards. It's a live show. That's how it's gonna go.
That's fine.
Right.
You already saw your. Yeah. Well, not everybody saw my Twitch stream live.
Hey, everyone's seeing Sonic R there now.
I kind of like that, to be clear. That's great, yeah. That's fantastic. That's a good game. Okay, everyone says.
All right, so let's do one last check, make sure that we're good and everything.
Feel the sunshine.
Let's feel the sunshine.
Does it brighten up your day? Can you feel the sunshine?
Orange 8-bit. This is Great Lakes Christmas Ale right now.
Right.
That's what I'm drinking.
Got it in can.
Yep.
I'm not one for pouring my drinks out of a can or bottle into a glass. Like I like them. I know you got a cool Mario glass.
I mean, it'll give me the burps. If I drink it out of the can.
The more carbonated. See, I like the carbonation though. Hence my addiction to soda, I guess. I just like carbonation.
You were built in it, or you were born in the carbonation.
Oh, you think the carbonation is your ally? You merely adopted the carbonation.
I think the audio looks pretty good now.
I'm not shaving Jeff's head tonight. We gotta wait till after Christmas.
Yeah, I already promised my wife, so not happening.
Hey, it's AJ.
Hey, AJ. No, not these two. All right, I think we're probably good to start.
Yeah, it's 9. Let's go.
You know what? Actually, let me get my list up so I don't forget anything. Can you feel the sunshine shining on a day?
Reach out for the sunshine.
Hide away the sunshine in your pocket every day.
Yeah, keep condoms in your wallet. It's the best place for them to be.
All right, okay. This looks
That thumbs up button. Smash it. Beat the living shit out of that button, everybody, or I'll fine you. If you're gonna get 2, get 5 and 6. If you're gonna get 3, I would say get 1, 5, and 6. Probably most reasonable people would say 4, 5, and 6. I'm just down on 4 myself. I think playing the original is more interesting than playing 4. 5 and 6 are the easy best 2 though, Vision.
all right. I think I'm okay.
Assassination coordinates. So good still.
Oh man. Okay. One last check on audio, guys. Are we pretty good? The sound pretty. It's not going to be perfect.
Sound good enough?
Be a lot of room.
I
audio.
like that my microphone glows.
Yes, it's all shiny. Although it should kind of get picked up by the green screen effect. So if we could put something there, like a face or something, it'll just like appear in behind the mic every once in a while. That'd be pretty messed up.
Wow, very cool.
Sounds quite good. Yeah.
You seem surprised by it not being shit.
I'm like, that's good enough for me. It sounds quite good. It's like as good as it's gonna get. I'm very excited.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Put a dick, says Christian. All right. I guess we'll have to consider that. All right. Then I guess what we'll do is we'll mute this music. There will be no normal music. We're just gonna get right into it. The podcast version will be all up and stuff, but you all will have to just deal with it raw.
What is catfuck? Oh, you still have catfuck as that placeholder on that
Yeah, it's just placeholder. Immortality's not actually his number 10 either.
God, no.
All right. Almost professional podcasts. Prosumer podcasters. Okay. Yeah, I could just check in on that whenever I need to, and I know that my number 10 is that. Fozzie, you ready? Fozzie's ready. Okay. All right, Mike, I'm going to bring us in.
Do it, you coward.
Wait, I'm not going to.
Microsoft destroyed FTC and Sony in new document. What's this about? Oh, God. Is there actually a new development on FTC? Again?
I bet there is, but I don't have to do a news show until 2023.
There you go. We still have. Are we still doing news today? Are we doing? No, good.
Just Game of the Year.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm tired of news.
Yeah.
That's enough of that shit. I didn't bring the tin whistle hippie. I should have. Huh.
Got my wife a 10.
Hey, Mike. There you go, Mike.
In her stocking right
Really?
now. In her stocking right now.
Oh my God, are we gonna be tin whistle buddies?
Yeah, because she used to have one. And she used to just do it, annoy me. But we found one, and it doesn't work anymore. So I got her new.
It's a D.
Huh?
Low D.
I don't know.
It's probably a low D.
I just got one that had a good star rating on Amazon.
And it's a D. They're all Ds.
Okay. Yes. Everyone loves the D.
Everyone loves the D.
Okay. You know what? I don't need to do any of that. We'll do a special. All right. Ready?
I'm ready, sir.
Okay. I'm just gonna bring it in, everybody.
Let me clear my nose.
Yeah, do it. Oh, cool. That's a cool sound. Glad I got to sit next to him for this. This is the thrill of being in person.
I feel much better.
All right, everybody, here we go. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast, where we decide everything in the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. this is a very special episode because I have with me, right in person, I'm going to touch him right now.
You.
I'm touching him.
Gross. I don't
I'm
like
touching
it.
him. That's Mike Minotti,
it's
everybody.
me.
We're doing our Game of the Year episode, and you came to my house to do it, Mike.
That's right. I was like, that's why I was like, what can we do to make it special? Then I was like, oh, I could just drive there. Actually, it would not be that difficult. Although, like, a storm is coming, so I'm leaving right after this. I'll be ahead of it.
Yeah, storm, like, it is on its way here. It's like coming, like, Lake Erie is a few feet that way. It's freezing. It's going to stand up and attack our house.
Yes. But I'll be retreating before that can happen, like a coward. It'll be good.
Yes.
Jeff's kids are like begging me to stay. I was like, nah, sorry, you're on your own.
He literally said, "Go to hell."
I said, go to hell, Grubb spawn.
You're on. Yeah, you're on your own.
Oh, I did give them. I brought presents, and one of them is a Sonic the Hedgehog ornament, just so that I can force Sonic on Jeff's Christmas tree from now and forever. Now, I did it. I'm so happy.
All right. So someone said my audio was cutting out. Then AJ Monty says it sounds good. AJ, you're in charge. You tell me if I need to fix anything. All right. So how are we going to do this? We got our top 10 list, which we are just going to give raw. Like, we're not going to
raw dog it.
I'm not going to tell you don't like a certain game. We're just going to do our top 10s. But we are going to argue that I've got at least 10, 11 categories. So we might add more depending on what the super chats do here.
Right. Because we have 10 special categories, or 11 actually.
11 right now, but
we'll argue. And if there's any other category of anything you want to make up, you want us to debate about it, we'll do it on the fly. Just send us it on a super chat. It could be a cheap super chat. I don't care. We'll debate it.
Yeah, and if anyone says anything bad about our cardboard box microphone stands, Sean, Christian, you time them out, all right? This is important stuff to me. I did a lot of work here.
Yeah. Don't set up shame us.
Yes, exactly. Don't you dare. I'm very sensitive about my boxes.
Yeah, if anybody mentions Kind of Funny's like new $2 million studio or whatever, probably I don't even. $2 million might be low, but I don't know. That place looks nice.
Yes, who knows?
That looks nice.
I'm sure it's cheap to do that in San Francisco. All right. All right. So right now, if you're watching live, obviously you could see behind us we have a list of stuff. We're going to get into that here in a second, but this is for audio listeners as well. We'll do our best to kind of walk you through everything. I think what we'll do is we will start with our number 10, then we'll do a category, and then we'll each do our number 9, and so on until we get to our number 1 game of the year. That sound good?
Sounds great to me, Jeff Grubb.
Okay, so with that in mind, well, you know what? Actually, before I do, how do you feel? How were you feeling about 2022 in gaming?
Good, and it was a weird year because it wasn't looking good, and AAA wise, it wasn't. And like in terms of those really big, beefy kind of games, there's definitely a few notable ones. But it was really a mixture of indies and these kind of mid-tier, mid-budget games that really saved the day. A lot of those were my favorites and the stuff that I really latched onto this year.
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay, I wasn't looking forward to a ton. Obviously, I was like, oh, Starfield would come out. That got delayed. But stuff like the Steamdeck coming out making me realize, oh, I could play a bunch of games I never thought I would be able to play on a handheld before, kind of turn things around. And then, I mean, Elden Ring is just sort of a generational defining game. So it was kind of, with that, I'm like, okay, I don't really need anything else because that game was so big. It took up the whole first half of the year. And then everything since then has just been kind of icing on the cake on that. And then there were a lot of greater, smaller games like you were mentioning. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start with our number 10. Mike, what was your number 10 game of the year?
My number 10 is Return to Monkey Island. Yeah, which, like, in some ways, considering how much I like Monkey Island, that can almost be, like, disappointingly low. But there's just a lot of games I liked. But, yeah, I like that franchise a lot. This was really charming. It had some really nice puzzles to it. It was genuinely funny a lot of times, which is good, hard to do. Kind of the most difficult thing. There was moments where I was like, okay, we're retreading some things a bit too much here. The middle and, like, right before the last act were definitely the best parts, especially this part where you're kind of jumping between islands, which was sort of reminiscent of the part in Monkey Island 2 where you're hunting for the 4 map pieces, and it's kind of the best part of that game. That was definitely when Return to Monkey Island was working the most for me, where you have all these different threads and all these different puzzles you could be working on at any one time. That worked better for me than, say, in the very beginning, where it's like, oh, we're at Melee Island again, or we're at Monkey Island again. The very end, I know, like, it's controversial for some people, and I'm not gonna, like, go into spoilers or anything. I didn't mind the ending. I found it a little borderline eye-rolly predictable, just from what I assumed Ron Gilbert was going to do. But generally, really charming game, really fun game. Definitely better than, like, the best Monkey Island game we got since Curse of Monkey Island, which was like 97. So that's a long time ago.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's delivering on most. It's like, I mean, and they're pretty like well set up to do more now, right?
Oh, again, like I assume that after this, I would hope anyways that this is just like, all right, so you want to make a new Maniac Mansion now, right? Whatever. That's what I'm hoping for. Sure. Or even Monkey Island. They could go back to that too. But Maniac Mansion is really what I want to see next for sure.
All right. My number 10 is, I remember exactly what
it's Catfuck. It's right there.
It's Catfuck, everybody. Everyone knows I couldn't stop talking about Catfuck. It's actually, I mean, the same thing. Mario Strikers Battle League. My number 10 game. I was really excited for this game, was really anticipating it, and maybe pretty similar. The fact that it's number 10 on here, maybe it's like, oh, it was disappointing, and obviously it didn't have all the features that people want, and a lot of people did find it very disappointing, but it has some of the best like arcade sports sort of interactions and mechanics that you could find in any video game. I had a really good time playing it. You were over here a few months ago. We played a ton of it that one night. I played a bunch of it online, even a little bit. The big problem is you go to play against the computer, and then you do that, and that's kind of it that you can really do on your own. And then if you do want to go online and play with your friends, that's pretty limited as well. But the core mechanics were just so strong. Really, still one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I agree. I am shocked how much people were kind of hard on this one. Maybe if me and you were bigger fans of the first two back in the day, we would also be harder on it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really fun. Like, not enough people are talking about what's good. Like, the animation work is still just really incredible here. Next Level makes those Mario characters look alive in a way that even really the main Mario team doesn't do in its cutscene.
Absolutely. I mean, Luigi Mansion 3 and Mario Strikers are both like top of the line in terms of animating those characters and giving them so much extra life that they just feel like jumping up. Yeah. I hope that they're able to take all that work and apply it into bigger and better things. Obviously, Mansion 4 is like,
yeah.
But it's like, whatever they're doing, I hope they're able to like do awesome animation stuff with characters. Okay, those were our number 10. That leads us into our first category of the night. Best game we thought would be dog shit. Now, Mike, do you want to read games on our list I have here? And if we can add some... People want to, my mic is cutting out. All right, I'll fix that real quick.
Yeah.
Mike, you want to read those while I fix that?
Yes. So, these are games we thought would be dog shit. And our nominees here are High on Life, Evil West, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, Sonic Frontiers, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So yeah, this is a pretty interesting one. There's a bunch of these that like either looked bad in previews or just because of what they were. I just had low expectations for these going in. I think I could say for sure, I was talking a lot of shit about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and that whole franchise for most of the year.
Yes.
I just kept thinking about how Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was like, it's like I even say every time, like when I was playing Xenoblade 1 and 2, I had an okay time. And then whenever I think about them, I was just like, those games are weird and kind of gross and stupid and, weeby in the negative, in a very negative sense. And then you looked at just like a picture of Xenoblade 3, and it has like this incredibly overbearing UI that's covering up most of the screen. And it's like, we're going to have 7 party members at once running around.
Yeah.
I'm like, how could that even possibly work? That's just going to be absolute
Right. They're all going to be
clutter.
yelling their thing every 2 seconds. And they do that
And they
stuff.
do. They do this stuff. Yeah, that stuff's true. Yeah, the UI does clear screen. Yeah, they don't shut the fuck up. And yeah, it didn't actually bother me very much.
I think it was those first 2 games I never played, but it did seem like... when you were playing them, you were having a good time, and then when you were done, you were thinking about all the problems that they had, and that kind of led to you specifically thinking the game would be dog shit.
Right.
And it's like, okay, once you started playing it this time, it's like, oh, it is just as fun as playing those other games, but a lot of that stuff that made it less fun to think about afterward was gone or mitigated. And it's like, yeah, it's a really strong one for this category. Evil West was one that I
It's like that 360 ass game, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It's one, and I guess thought it would be dog shit. I think I have a certain barrier where I think everything is going to be kind of dog shit at a certain point, and this game was definitely just in that bucket where it's like, well, I'll just go into it assuming it'll be like crappy and not worth my time, and therefore I don't have to spend any time on it. So it's like having something like that sort of rise out of that bucket and become worthy of like paying attention to. And I played it on the computer, I played it on Steamdeck, and it was, oh yeah, this is actually just a legit fun game to go in, start bashing people around. It's got a really good melee combat system with really good juggles, and you're jumping between all the different guns.
You like juggling. Now, I haven't played this. You really think like, oh, I missed out here. This is something I really should go and try.
Probably not. I think if you do try it, you'll enjoy it. But it's like, you know, I don't think it's on Game Pass or anything like that. I would be like, you don't have to go like rush out and go buy it. If it's on sale for $20 down the line, yeah, that's a pretty. You probably should get it at that point. I think right now it's $50 on Steam and $60 on consoles. I think a lot of people who were super into those 360 action games will have a great time with it. They should go out and get it. But I'm not saying like there's an across the board recommendation for me on that game. Let's see. So High on Life is one though. It's like I definitely thought would legit be like a bad game.
Right.
And I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I'm not in love with it. I think some people are like really liking it. I'm just like, it's fine and sometimes fun. And that's so much further above where I thought it would be.
Some people are liking it and trying to turn it into a culture war.
Yes.
This is the journalists.
Yes, it's not that.
See, like this one, unlike Evil West, I'm like, oh, I want to get to this. I do actually want to try this one eventually still. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. That one was making me legitimately mad on this show sometimes, Jeff. Especially because like everyone's like laughing at, like, ha ha ha, we like laughing at this game. I was like, it's not funny. How dare you?
Yeah, a lot of people there's still debate about whether or not they intended any of like the humor or the writing.
They didn't.
Of course they didn't.
Playing the game is so obvious they didn't. They were just trying to be edgy cool. Again, 360 vibes, and it's like it is embarrassing, but the game's fun. Like, you know, and I didn't know because I never really played the Neo games, and it's basically just that, but with like I think a more robust magic system that actually works pretty well, and it's fun. It still like looks really ugly with too much bloom and a stupid story and bad voice acting and all these other problems, but like it's an action game and the action is fun, so that gets it most of the way.
I think it's probably one that like stays on this list. We should probably just kind of do the top one and keep like two others. Is that how we should do these?
Okay, sure. We'll have two runner-ups.
Yeah, at least two runner-ups. Maybe sometimes it'll just be one, but we'll see.
Never believed that Arceus was going to be dog. I was always hopeful for Arceus.
Yeah, I think I just didn't have any expectations. I don't think that is exactly the spirit of this one. So I put it on there where I was
it was right because a lot of people were weirded out. Like, that's not actually coming out, is it? Because there wasn't, it kind of got announced. It was like, what do you mean you're just making an open world Pokemon game finally and not treating it like that big of a deal? Everyone's sort of confused. So I think a lot of people really were skeptical of it. But I held out the hope and it was good.
Yeah, I was like, it was good. I really liked it. It did overshoot my what's that?
I was getting echoed. I'm getting picked up by your Yeti, and everyone's yelling.
Yeah, I'm trying to because it was cutting me out because I have the noise gate at a certain level. Everybody,
both echo.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be that way a little bit. Yeah. Well, we can maybe talk a little bit quieter right into our mics.
I should probably stop screaming.
So the big thing for me with Pokemon Legends Arceus is that when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, yeah, this could be fun, but it's just they are rushing it out. So I had sort of middling expectations. That is probably not enough to keep it on this list, right?
No, I don't think so. I think, now, granted, I also always had faith in Sonic Frontiers. Really, some faith, I guess.
I did not. To me, this is like a shoe-in for this category, but that's for me where I thought they are like the first trailer that they showed, that IGN video, where when I was looking at it, it just looked so much like one of those Unreal Engine demos where things are people just throw a character into a world and it's mostly empty and you're running around. And it's like, okay, they really are they're going to have to delay this thing. And then they weren't. They said they wouldn't delay it. And everyone's like, all these Sonic fans are begging them to delay it.
Please just delay it.
Yeah, please just delay it. And it's like, at a certain point, it was like, okay, I don't know. Somewhere along the line, it did flip a little bit, but I didn't always have faith. I really did think it would be a dog shit game. So I kind of still want to keep it on there for now, anyhow.
Sega, this man, that's right, that thing. Well, I mean, what else? What would you get rid of then, if not Sonic Frontiers?
Well, I mean,
See?
yeah, okay. When I'm looking at it, I mean, I would probably get rid of Stranger of Paradise, but I guess it really, because that one, it's like it looked silly. I guess it did look pretty bad. But it was like it is kind of still fun bad in that way that we were expecting, at least a little bit, even though they didn't intend it. It's still.
See, I don't say I didn't find fun. I know a lot of people did find fun in the badness. I found fun despite the badness, I guess.
Okay. You know what? Let's see here. Xenoblade. Did you think?
I think Xenoblade's the winner.
You think Xenoblade's the winner? Okay.
I think it's the winner in terms of what I thought it would be and how much I ended up enjoying
Well,
it.
then okay, so then let me choose between Sonic Frontiers and High on Life. Which one do we would? I think let's keep High on Life. So let's drop Sonic Frontiers.
All right.
That's probably right. Okay. So right now we have High on Life, Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins, and Xenoblade for best game we thought would be dog
I
shit.
don't know if Iron Mike's joking or not with that super chat saying try putting another cardboard box between your mics.
Yeah. I mean, I could dial this a little bit more. Hang on, everybody. We'll take a quick.
Take a second.
Take a second. Okay. So a little bit. Okay, so it is just like, is it constant echo when we're talking, pretty much? If I talk like this, I see I'm getting picked up over there. Let me.
Yes, yeah.
Here's what we'll do. Try something.
Want to do the one mic? That might be better.
Let's try it.
Yeah, that probably might be better.
Okay, test.
Test.
Let me turn. Oh god, it just reset itself. Test. Mike.
Test.
Is that better?
That
Okay.
sounds good. Good test. Sounds good.
All
We
right.
did it.
Okay, cool.
I missed my glowing, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what can you do? All right, well, you know what? There we go. Okay.
You have fun editing this.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. I'll run it through a couple of algorithms.
AI.
algorithms.
Additional screaming.
Okay. I will bring us back in. All right, Mike. So, of these three, you think Xenoblade is the winner? Because Xenoblade is so much better than what we were expecting, right?
Yes. I mean, the fact that you enjoyed it at all.
Yes, right. That's like a good point. Like
We made fun of it pretty much constantly until it came out.
Or we're completely dismissive of it. Like,
Yeah.
People are like, you're a Nintendo podcast, you got to talk about it. And we would do less than Nintendo. Be like, we just are not going to care about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then you played it and we're enjoying it a little bit. Actually, I think Jan was like playing it, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And actually had a pretty decent time. And it got way better reviews than I thought it would get.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh,
see, even
need
that
to see what people
scared
are
me a
getting
bit because 2 got good reviews. And there are a lot of people who are still like, oh, I love Xenoblade 2, and I kind of like roll my eyes at them a little bit. So it wasn't, but yeah, I didn't start it right away. And then people were saying good things. But I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a go, and I liked it a lot. So there we go. I think Xenoblade wins.
All right, I'm going to bold Xenoblade. Let's
do it. Bold it.
Control B. There we go. All right. So for the best game we thought would be dog shit, High on Life, Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins are the runner-up to Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the winner. Congratulations to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. All right. For this next one, it's our number 9 game of the year. This time I go first.
Do it.
My number 9 game of the year is Atari 50.
Oh, shit.
This game is something special, mostly because it's...
they call it 50 because you have to be at least that age to enjoy it.
Exactly, yes. And if you pay more than $50, you got scammed. It's a really incredible thing where it is this presentation of Atari's history with the games. It's a collection of games, yes, but it also is a collection of interviews that gives so much context and time and place and the humanity behind those games, all in one package, that you kind of can't help but fall in love with those games. Games that I don't have much affinity for. I played Atari games for sure when I was very young, but I really don't consider, until I got the NES, I really wasn't that into games. So it's like,
Sure, it's like for me, it's like definitely before my time. Like I wasn't even aware of it.
yeah. So I kind of put that stuff into like its own compartment that I've mostly moved on from. It's just, I haven't actually moved on from the stories of how those games came to be. I just wasn't like, I haven't heard many new stories out of that era in a long time. This does either provide new context, new stories, new insights, or it solidifies things that you have heard before, and you get multiple angles of multiple people telling you, oh no, that is really what happened, or someone be like, well, that's not exactly what happened, but they'll tell you a different version of it, and it's just so incredible and so well done and so easy to navigate. That I kind of can't help but just fall in love with it. So yeah, that's my number 9 game of the year, Atari 50. How about you, Mike?
My number 9 is actually Xenoblade Chronicles 3, so that's easy. We were just talking about it a bunch. It would maybe be higher if, like, I did burn out a little bit on it towards the end, and that's just a problem with JRPGs that are going to be longer than 60 hours. By hour like 80, I was like, all right, let's get through this a little bit. Plus, the game has this really strong like moment 2/3 of the way through. And it never quite gets that emotionally intense again, which is like a bit of a problem. And like even the combat is after a while, I'm like, oh, there's a problem with all Xenoblade games where bosses are just always damage sponges, basically, every single time. They don't actually have mechanics. You're kind of it's the same strategy for every single boss fight. And that, like, again, it was a problem I didn't even really think about the first 60 hours, but then that last 20 or so. But generally, though, everything I said about the game, it is great. The characters were likable. It was much more mature than the previous entries. It's impressive for a Switch game for its size and just how many characters can fight at the same time. Incredible music. So yeah, I had a very good time with this one. Easily the best in that series.
Yeah, I was surprised how much I enjoyed it when I played it. It was just the combat surprisingly engaging for being that what everyone calls MMO combat. Not that I would know.
I mean, there's a lot of auto attacks. I guess it's certain. Yeah.
I regardless of whether or not people classify it as that, I'm like, no, I'm fully engaged with it. There's a lot of cool stuff you could be doing at any one time in a fight. The music's fantastic. Characters are pretty cool, and the setup that they put those characters into is even cooler. So, yeah, big fan of what I played of that game. All right, Mike, that brings us to our most overrated category.
Oh, fun.
For this category, we have Stray, Horizon Forbidden West, Tunic, Sonic Frontiers, Power Wash Simulator, Fortnite, Vampire Survivors, and Multiverses. If anyone else has any recommendations, of course, we'll be kind of keeping our eye on the chat. But, Mike, anything else you want to add to this list?
No, I see a few on here that I feel are pretty strongly are overrated. I'll be honest.
Oh, well, let's start with one that you think would be a good cut.
A good cut? Sonic Frontiers.
You think it's properly rated, right?
I think it's properly rated in the 70. I understand that I like it more than that.
Right.
I understand why. I'm surprised by the people who are like, it's dog shit. You're Jordan Midler's of
Yeah.
I'm surprised people are like, oh, it's terrible. I'm like, how is it terrible?
Yeah.
It's fun to run around, at least jump on things.
It has some of the best running around and jumping of the year, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, or it's the most fun. Like it still is not 100% great to control, but there's a legacy of Sonic feeling this way, and I've sort of been like, I'm okay with that because it's actually kind of fun in this game. But I think you're probably even with like the sort of positive swelling of affection towards this game, it still is not. It's still mostly rightly rated.
I mean, if is it overrated with crazy Sonic fans? Of course it is.
Yes, yeah, exactly. but they don't count, so we're gonna delete it.
Normal people, I think, have it rated right where it should be.
Yes. Let's see. Power Wash Simulator. I put this on here just because it's like so many people were kind of considering it for their game of the year, and I get it up to a point.
They were like during the summer, and then it fell off.
Yes, it fell. I mean, it still came back a little bit over these last couple weeks with game of the year stuff, but not as much as it could have. Which means it's probably pretty easy to delete it from this list. But it's like even at the time, I'm like, yeah, I get it. This is fun. It's relaxing, but it's not like
it's not gamified enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like there's other versions of this blue collar work simulation game that I think are much better.
It's about SnowRunners, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we can get rid of that. I saw somebody say Immortality. We joked about putting Immortality on overrated and underrated.
Yes.
I mean, Fortnite got a lot more buzz this year. Part of it just feels like a lot of people in our circle, that kind of giant bomb circle, and a lot of like the adjacent podcasts just start playing it again because of John Cena and then the Dragon Ball, and then there was that big update also. But I mean, yeah, it's a good game. It's a fun game.
I really like it. But it's I think it's exactly the cultural institution that it needs to be and is considered as. I think it's earned that spot. It's not overrated, it just is Fortnite, but we could delete it from this list.
Sorry, somebody asked why is Vampire Survivors on here. Here's what I'll say: Vampire Survivors is a very good game, Jeff. I think it's great. I think people who are considering it for Game of the Year are a little. I think that's a bit much. I think I like it. I think it's fun. I think it still is getting a little overrated.
So I got it on my list.
Yeah, I don't even want to know how high up. I like it. I am surprised. Because it'd be one thing if it was like, oh, just you and Dan. Like, tons of people are going like, yeah, this is a top 5 game for me. I'm a little surprised with that. It's very fun. I mean...
Die!
Look, does the menu have to look that ugly, Jeff? Does the UI have to be that bad? Can't they have fixed that at some point? Is that really part of the charm? That it's ugly?
Yeah, kind of.
Why?
Because it was $3. Yeah, I mean, now listen, they did increase the price by 66% by increasing it to $5.
Yeah, the UI should look 66% better or whatever.
I have no issues with that game.
All right. I mean, I agree. There's way more overrated ones, but I wanted to get that off my chest a little bit.
Little cuckoo, huh? All right.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about something that's actually overrated. How about that?
Yes. Let's go.
Multiverses.
Okay.
Way overrated.
I was like very excited to hear the response to this game and played it. And actually, Mike, can you hand me that controller box right there? I was like, oh yeah, I was, he's doing the funny fingers. I wanted to get into this game. I wanted to get into
box?
Yeah, that box. Bring it over. You can open it and show it everybody.
What, is there not a controller in here?
There is a controller in there. It's just a special controller.
Oh shit.
It's a multiverses controller.
So what you're saying is that you've been bribed into liking this game.
Yes, exactly. So full disclosure.
How many controllers do you have?
I got too many. In fact, I was going to say we should give this one away. Give this one away. If you leave a comment on here,
give it away. Don't worry about what.
If you're an audio listener, you could also just how should they do? You actually just go to the YouTube video and leave a comment. And as long as you're following the channel, you have a chance to win this multiverses controller. I'll ship it anywhere, and this is the only time I'm ever going to ship globally. So there you go, everybody. Okay, I wanted to love this game. I wanted to really kind of fall in love with it, and I played it. It was like, this is actually kind of worse than Smash Brothers, a game that I have a hard time finding a lot of fun in Smash Brothers these days, but I find more fun in Smash Brothers than in Multiverses.
I love Smash Brothers. Everyone knows that, and I think there's a lot of good things about this game. I think its free-to-play formula is actually pretty nice, except for the perks. I hate that there's a perk system in it. I don't know, this weird thing came out. And, the roster is cool, and they have so many places they can go to, and I like that they already are doing some weirder picks with that. It just doesn't feel as good, Jeff. It just doesn't feel as good. Each character, it's somehow way simpler. Each character has significantly fewer moves than a Smash Brothers character, so it's like it just doesn't feel as deep there. It feels a little floatier. Each attack doesn't seem to have as much impact for some reason. Again, I think as far as Smash clones go, it's definitely one of the better ones. But some people were going on about this, and like that even died pretty quickly. Like the idea that this was like some. Yeah. It came out really strong. It already doesn't feel like it's one of these, this is going to be a hit for years and years, right?
Yeah, I'm like almost curious to open Steam to see like what its concurrent player list number is right now. I hope it's doing fine. I have no ill will towards the game, but I personally don't have a lot of fun with it, and I think you're probably right that it's at least on this list. Tunic, and I'm partially responsible for this because I was hyping this game up a lot.
You were
in the first several hours, and what it turns out to be is that
1,800 people on Steam for Multiverses right now. Thank you, Jesse.
Good for it. And thank you for checking on that. The thing with Tunic is that there's a lot of promise there, and it is fun at first too, especially as you are exploring that world and you walk past a bush 20 times, and then later you realize if I had just like gone a foot further into that bush, I would have found some secret path to the other side of the world that now I only know it's there because I went around the world and I came out that side and was like, oh my God, I'm back here at the beginning. And that is awesome because it's always there. And there's a ton of stuff in that game where They're just like, hey, you could have always done this if only you had known. And usually the only way you're going to know is collecting those manual pages. And all that stuff is it's a good carrot on a stick to keep you going. But as you sort of get over the hump of that, and you are then left with the back half of that game where either you need to commit to wanting to golden path the game and finding every single little thing and solving the puzzles, or you have to be like, well, I'm just happy that it's gotten me this far. Now I'm just going to enjoy a good Zelda game. It's actually not that good of a Zelda game. The mechanics, the combat, the fights are pretty tedious and tough, not that fun. And people are considering for their top 10, and I think it's pretty overrated.
I think it's actually on the Games Beat's top 10 because everyone else on my staff liked it. And I try to get off. They're like, no, we liked it. I was like, all right. Yeah, was it last year, Death's Door? I was shitting on that one. This is my Death's Door of 2022.
The reality is that there just actually isn't any one of those anywhere even close to Link Between Worlds. There is nothing even close.
Exactly.
To it.
Yeah.
It is just so far beyond everything else.
It's like we have 2D platformers. Like it's hard because I don't know if we wouldn't have pure 2D platformers like Sonic. They're as good as that. We have games that manage to be as good as like a Mega Man or a Castlevania with stuff like Shovel Knight. But yeah, for some reason, just like we're making our own Zelda, and it's gonna be as good. And Death Snores. I got that. Yeah, but I mean, I bounced off Tunic even before that halfway point where everybody says it. And you want to like it so much because it is cute, it is charming. The whole the instruction manual.
The instruction manual stuff is genius.
It's just too slow and boring, and it's like there's all this exploration, but I'm not feeling like I'm actually being rewarded that much for it. A lot. I'm running into so many dead ends. I'm not usually one to complain about backtracking, but there's so often I wander somewhere. I'm like, I guess I'm not supposed to be here. And like, how do I have to go back? It's this really long backtracking thing I have to do. I'm sorry. I know people like this game. I didn't get it. And I gave it a shot, but not enough. Horizon Forbidden West is interesting because I definitely bounced off it.
Me too.
The problem is there's almost so much people going, like, kind of railing against it now. It seems like we're almost rating it correctly. And that is as, like, the 7 or 8 out of 10 game that maybe got a bit more love than something really mainstream in terms of nominations anyway at the Game Awards, just because, of course, it's like a first-party Sony game there. Like, it's even though it's like I want to be hard on it because it is so rote and it's so familiar. You said this on the Bombcast because it seems like there's a lot of people who are mad at people like me and you have to be like, you guys have to understand. Like we and I don't know, maybe they are the same age and they have played as many games as us, but there is a point where things are just they feel familiar, and it feels like we've been there, done that. And there's just not enough new or interesting about it.
We like maybe it is weird, but we do value novelty in a pretty strong way. And it's like when something comes in, it doesn't feel like it's trying to be the color, the paint by numbers biggest thing in the world. We maybe give it a little bit more leeway than we would give a Horizon. Horizon's obviously a game that a lot of people enjoy, and it's big and expensive, and it shows. But it's also if that stuff doesn't immediately wow you, and again, it's pretty hard to wow us at this point, like you kind of see through it and it's pretty easy to get bored.
Like as far as those kind of games go, even like, look, I'll give Horizon a lot more respect than say a Far Cry 6. You know, it is like doing things 100%, better,
yes,
for sure. So I want to kind of give it some leeway, especially when the last game here, because this game, Jeff, was straight up. I mean, I guess Horizon was also nominated for Game of the Year, but again, you expect that. Stray getting the surprise Game of the Year, and a lot of people rooting for it. I was like,
I mean, even at the Game Awards, it won like best indie game, best indie debut, won a bunch of awards. That game's just fine at best.
It's people. I don't know. I guess I know people like cats. You like cats.
I love cats,
and I know I'm not a cat person. I swear that's not it.
It's not it because I love cats.
It's a game where you play as a cat, and that's cute. You don't do very much as a cat.
Yeah, it's just not even a very good cat video game.
Right, because
it's not.
It's so specific on where you can explore with him. If it was like this free roaming thing where you can really, but the paths are so, again, rigid on what you can go there, and like a lot of the game is just finding where the game wants you to go.
Yes. And
then do the thing. And it like looks really pretty. It's very impressive technically for
right. Yes, it is one of the better looking games of the year. And if it wants anything, I won't argue that 100%.
Yeah. So it's definitely impressive.
But it's like I feel like for like some people are referring to it as a walking simulator, and I don't think that's a pejorative. I think that's fair, but like there are more interesting sort of quasi-futuristic, weird robot world walking simulators here, like Jazzpunk. Like, give me Jazzpunk 100 times before you give me another Stray.
And I even like got less interested when you got your like talking robot friend, and then there was suddenly more talking in the game. Like, no, let's really like commit to this whole "I'm a cat" thing. Like, don't give me a voice, somebody talking to me the entire like basically the PlayStation exclusive, the person who talks to you and tells you what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't need that here.
Do you think Mark Cerny just shows up to studios, like, have anything to do with Sony? Just, you have to do this.
You have to do this. Like, he just shoves a picture of Solly in their face. We figured it out.
Smears it on their face. Yeah.
Cracks the code.
Okay.
These,
So right now we have, this is our most overrated category. And our games that we have on here right now are Stray, Tunic, and Multiverses. Do we want to, and I'm not going to be the one to do this, so it has to be you, God of War Ragnarok.
No.
Okay, asked and answered. Thank you. I mean, some people brought it up in chat. I just wanted to like take your temperature on it. I think that game is I don't know. I haven't played that much of it. I played an hour. So.
I liked it. It's not going to be on my list just because I haven't beaten yet, and I feel a little bad about it because it would be on my list, probably lower than some things. But I like God of War Ragnarok. It has a little bit of that. Oh, this is a bit familiar problem, but it's done very well, and its combat is so satisfying, and it has a lot of good attributes.
And then most overrated, Elden Ring. No,
nope.
just now.
No.
Just now.
It's like there's some things that actually just are as good. Like it's like the Beatles. No, the Beatles actually are very good.
Yep.
Like I know you're tired of hearing about it. I get it, but sorry.
No, it actually just is that good.
Sorry.
Okay. I think personally, out of these three, Stray wins for me. I think it's the right combination of being at best an okay game and at the same time a ton of praise. It was Time's Game of the Year. Like,
oh man, that's right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, and I hate, and again, I almost hate going after it.
Right. I don't want to be like, we're the real gamers that have the right taste. That's not what this is. I just legitimately, as a critic, think it's not that good of a game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Stray is our winner here. Sorry.
All right, control the.
That's Stray.
Yeah,
that felt good. It felt good getting that one out.
Yeah, let's get its ass. All right, Mike. What is your number 8 game of the year?
Marvel Snap.
All right.
I play a lot of Marvel Snap. What really surprises me about this is I actually play this mostly on my phone, and I hate playing games on my phone. I usually never do that. I hate not having access to my phone. I just hate using my phone as an input device for games. Marvel Snap, it works really well. It works fine on the desktop too. But I played a ton of Hearthstone for years and fell off it. Like, of course I got sick of it. I played it for like 4 years straight. That was going to happen at some point. But I like this. It's similar, but so different. I love how much faster the games are. I don't have to like sit around, wait for my opponent's turn. I love the randomness is more from the locations than from what my cards are doing. There's some there, but not as much. And if I get unlucky, I can still be smart and minimize how much damage a loss does to me because of that whole kind of gambling snap mechanic to it. So this just feels like, even though it's simpler, I'm actually making more like macro decisions, micro decisions.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm like looking at my list. It's not in my top 10. It's like right below there. It probably should be in my top 10 for as much as I played it, as much as I enjoy it. I mean, you nailed it. It presents itself as a simple game in the same way that poker presents itself as a simple game, but you're not really playing the cards as much as you're playing the person, and you're playing you're playing yourself, and what that means, like, you might not be in the position to win this one. Do you recognize that, one? Yeah. And two, will you be willing to cut and run and not take as much of a loss as you would if you oh no, I want to see it to the end. I did all this work. And it's like, no, play against yourself a little bit. Recognize that you are in a situation where the odds are not in your favor, and get out. And when they are in your favor, try to get everything in the middle. Put all the chips in. Get all 8 cubes out there so you have the biggest chance of getting the biggest return, and slow play it. And it's like, all that stuff is so satisfying. It works so well. And it's an incredible game. So
JKK says they should port Marvel Snap to car windshields. Jeff would be so happy. Yeah, that's
honestly
the category for best game to play while driving.
Yes, that's honestly the only thing that's wrong with it, is it's not on my car windshield. Yeah, I have to hold up the phone while driving. That's... All right, let's see. My number 8 game of the year, I already forgot. Let's see. Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Oh, okay.
I really had a good time with this game. The majority that I did play it was on that stream very early in the year, that hot 12 hours where it's like, I'm going to play it from the beginning and play it for 12 hours. And it was great. It was, I was like, this was such a good game for this kind of stream, for a marathon, because it is like easy to get in that routine of like, okay, I'm a little bit more powerful. I have a little bit better chance of going out into the world and getting stronger Pokemon. So I'm going to go out and do that, and I'll return. I'll do my chores, and then I'll go back out and I'll be able to find, I can't wait to see like what the next Pokemon I go out and I'm able to capture. And the fact that it's all about capturing Pokemon fits with me so well. I've liked some of the other Pokemon games, but I'm never going to be a Turbo Sean out there doing late game battles.
Yes, no, for sure. I'm never going to be like that. I'm somebody who's liked Pokemon a lot at some point in my life, but even me, I was never that kind of fan. Yeah,
so it's like, okay, this is a game that's going to, okay, we're going to go back in time. You are a Pokemon researcher, and so you actually need to go out there and discover them and find them, catalog them, and capture them. The game focuses on that stuff, and it does it really well, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's still one of the ones of the games I played this year that I did not finish. I think it's at the top of my list for most wanting to go back to.
Like, you want to go back to that more than Scarlet and Violet, I assume.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of ruined Scarlet and Violet for me, even like without its problems. Scarlet and Violet is almost just Arceus with more stuff.
Yeah.
And like, it's unnecessary. Like, I'm like, I actually don't want to battle the Pokemon to catch them anymore.
Yeah.
It turns out I'm actually fine just sneaking up and throwing a ball at them.
It's so frustrating to go finally find the one you want, and then to try to wink at it and accidentally knock it out. Now you just can't capture it. I mean, I don't know if it still works that way. Honestly, I don't know. But
it does, yeah. And Sean yelled at me, just use False Swipe. Well, I don't have False Swipe, Sean.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to keep this one stupid move just like I have some Pokemon that only catches other Pokemon.
Yeah, and I don't want 8-year-olds like Turbo Sean yelling at me like, just do it this way.
Super Metroid's over. Thanks for your help, Sean.
Yeah, thanks. We really appreciate it. All right, so those are our number 8s. Marvel Snap for Mike. Pokemon Legends Arceus for Jeff. That brings us to most underrated.
Most underrated games. There we go. Here, I'll point at them while you say it.
All right, yeah, here we go. Okay, so he's going to do the Weatherman thing. All right, so for most underrated, we have Mario Strikers, Shredder's Revenge, Rogue Legacy 2, Escape Academy, Kirby's Dream Buffet, and Rift Tracks the Game.
Yeah!
You did it! Man, you should be a weatherman.
I know, it'd be great.
Everyone really likes your pointing. Okay, where do you want to start here?
We talked about Strikers a little bit already. We already kind of made that point for it. Is it just us? Is that really just us?
I think it is just us, actually.
It's weird, because like people talk about it again, like, what a flop.
Okay, here's the thing about it. I think it was an easy target, because it's like, it did the Mario, like, people recognized this one much earlier than they recognized Mario Tennis and Mario Golf. Mm-hmm. They're like, maybe there's a chance. And now they've seen Mario Tennis and Mario Golf. They're like, oh, there actually isn't a chance. So when this game comes out and doesn't have all the features that I was expecting, I know they're not going to add that stuff on top. But for me, it was like, I would see RGT's video and he's like, where's the content? I'm like, listen, chess has had the same amount of content for thousands of years, and it's still fun. This is a really good battle action sports chess.
Like, what was there like some satisfying single player mode in the other two or something?
No.
Like, what do people mean? Do they want like super team or whatever?
I think the big thing that people wanted was the 4-on-4 mode, and they wanted to be able to do it online, not just like local or however it works. So, but that's it. That's the thing. That's the big thing that people didn't get that they wanted. Now, I think we wanted a excuse me, I burped right in the microphone.
Cute.
Yeah. We wanted like a better like league system.
Yes.
Like, of course, it doesn't have that stuff, but I still think it is maybe a little unfairly maligned.
Yeah.
For being exactly what it was always going to be. It was always going to be this, and it's a really good version of that.
Yeah. Like, JKK saying some kind of story mode. Like, even though like I cry about not getting that stuff in like golf and tennis, I just don't expect that. And I don't know, and maybe I should. Maybe it's a failure of imagination on my part, but it was certainly what I was expecting.
Yeah, me too. So. Yeah, and when we sit down to actually play it,
fun.
No one complains about that either. No one's like, oh well, when I'm playing it, it's bad, or it's it's not as fun. Like, no, it's one of the best soccer games you can play. Period. But it just doesn't have all the extra stuff on top that I think people are conditioned to expect. And they're like, hey, we are paying $60 for this. I completely understand people having high expectations, but I just never had those same expectations. Let's leave it for now.
Okay, for now. So Shredder Revenge is interesting because I do think it's underrated, but it also got a lot of love. But I do like it a lot. To me, it is something that should be getting talked about more in some of this Game of the Year stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
something I would have liked to have seen like get nominated for more things even at like the Game Awards or other things. Beat 'em ups are having a revival, and I do think it's cool. I for so long people be like, oh, beat 'em ups, that's just where you mash buttons and everything.
Yeah.
That was never true.
Right.
But and I feel like more people are realizing that at least, and games are doing a better job of showing people that.
I think the big thing was like, it wasn't a game where you mash buttons. It was a game. Those were games where you put in quarters, and it's impossible to avoid every hit.
Yes, exactly.
So you're going to take damage.
Right.
You're going to die eventually.
And that's why Streets of Rage 2 was always better.
Yes, because it was a home game.
Yeah, then even like I like Final Fight, but it was always better than a Final Fight
Yes.
in some inherent sense. Or even the arcade version of Turtles in Time. Like, oh, you can get that on main, or you can play that in the Cowabunga collection. Turns out, even though it looks better than that SNES version, the one made for consoles is better because it's not designed to just absolutely destroy you. Incredible pixel art. Each character felt unique in a way they haven't in these Turtles games before. Really good music. Yeah, definitely one of the best beat 'em ups in a long time. So it was super fun. Just how underrated is it really? That's kind of the question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had a lot of positive sentiment coming out of it right away, but people didn't talk about it enough. So I think that's where we're not sure where it's going to land on here. Let's leave it for now. Rogue Legacy 2. You tell me, Mike. Is this underrated?
This was weird because it is underrated, and I played through it and I liked it a lot. And the first Rogue Legacy was a really big deal in terms of being like. Wait, what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Bare Metal Uno getting mad. Get out of here with that Streets of Rage greater than Final Fight, right? Yeah,
Final Fight. I'd like to have the argument. Well, Final Fight 2 and 3 are very good because they were made for console. Final Fight CD on the Sega CD also rules. But like people didn't talk about Rogue Legacy 2 very much, and it's really good. Like again, the first one was
it is still in early access, right?
No,
it's not.
No, that's just a game that's out.
Okay, shit.
So, yeah, it's just that. No, it's out.
Okay, shit. That's weird then, because there was like a handful of people being like, "This is so good," and then I expected it to have that like I'm like, once it hits 1.0, it'll have that skyrocketing effect, and that never happened. So I just assumed it never came out to 1.0.
No, it's out. It's I don't know why it didn't get more attention. Again, the first Rogue Legacy was like the first one of these 2D roguelikes, at least that I can remember, that really picked up, and Dead Cells kind of took that and ran with it. Maybe the problem is just that Dead Cells exists now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, granted, as much as I say that, and I played through it and I beat it, I did kind of forget about it. I'm not gonna lie. Had to kind of look through games before I was like, oh yeah, Rogue Legacy 2 came out this year. So I guess I'm also underrating it a little bit myself.
Yeah, I just tried it and couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's where I'm at with it. Where it's going to be hard for me to say it's underrated or overrated. I'm like, no, it seems like people seem to like it. It just wasn't for me. So that's where I'm at with Rogue Legacy 2. I don't know if it's going to play, but let's also leave that one on here for now. Escape Academy. This one just like it felt like it should have got more buzz than it even got. I really enjoyed our time with it. But also, was that like a more singular experience because we played it together in person?
Yeah, but everybody should play it together in person with somebody.
You're right, okay.
Maybe that's the way to play. I mean, if we played it online, that would have been cool too. I think the thing that holds this game back is that it tries to do this like narrative, talking heads in between the game. Bit of that neon white problem. And here it's like even less interesting because it's not even voice acted. It's trying to be like Harry Potter. Like, no, just get me into the escape rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you need to have a framing device, maybe, but I'm not really into that. But super fun to play. I love the concept of it. The rooms themselves were good. The puzzles are really well crafted. Yeah, we had a lot of fun playing this one. And it's another one that seems like people were talking about a little bit when it came out and then died down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think my perspective on this is maybe colored by Jess, who I played it, or she showed me in the quick look. She used to work on escape rooms, and so she had this like very unique perspective on it. So I was like, okay, like it just doesn't live up to that. But I think she even admitted at the time, she's like, because I worked on these things, my view on this is not going to be like everybody's. And when I kind of got out of that, it's like, oh yeah, a lot of people really did seem to enjoy it, but it's definitely one that people did not talk about a lot. People are mentioning, is this one that came out around the time of Elden Ring?
I think, because I think that's absolutely true for Rogue Legacy too.
Yes, I think, and this came out a few weeks after.
I think a little bit later, because I remember first playing it at Summer Game Fest, so it must have come out.
Yeah, and
it was shortly after that,
right,
but it was like late summer. So
right, Elden Ring, because I started playing
Elden
Elden
Ring
Ring last
March,
house.
was
Yeah, right, and then I was playing
Yeah.
Escape Academy here, so it was like 3 months later. So,
But even still, felt like we were living
In
in
the
a
shadow.
Elden Ring world at
Yeah.
that point.
Kirby's Dream Buffet is one I just want to mention, that it's that $15 little Kirby party racing game, kind of like Fall Guys, I guess. We played it once on stream on Giant Bomb, immediately forgot about it, and then since then my kids have picked it up and have had such a good time with it, and I've been playing with them. I'm like, this is actually pretty well done, especially for a $15 game. I don't think it's probably going to make this list.
No, I liked it fine. I played it a couple nights and was done with it. So I think I can maybe see what you're saying. Maybe it should get a little bit more love than it does, but
I think you just like recognize that, like, oh, it's a Kirby game. It is going for that wider audience, and for that wider audience, there's definitely still something there. And I expect it to be one that my kids are still playing for months and months, actually. So, and I'm not mad. I have a good time whenever they have me play.
Yeah, no, it is
but
fun.
I'm deleting it from the list.
Good, or I would have beat you up. Finally, Rift Tracks, the game.
So this one is like it's kind of magical that this obviously they did this before, this studio. They did it from what's the Riff or whatever, or I can't remember what the games were called, but combining it with the Rift Tracks movies, having
What the dub?
Yeah, what the dub. Thank you. Yes, perfect. He's doing
We can do finger guns.
He's doing
impression.
Pistol fingers. Yes.
I'm gonna keep doing this.
Okay. What they did is they take all these recognizable movies from Rift Tracks, put them in front of you, and then also had a bunch of jokes written by them. And that's cool in the like write a riff mode, where like if you need someone to help you out and you can't think of anything, you click that, and it almost always is the funniest possible thing you can do, because they're really good at that. And for people that aren't aware, this is where you see a bad movie clip, you got to write something funny. It mixes it up, plays it out of order, doesn't say who's doing it, and everyone votes for which one is the best. But then in the pick a riff mode, where they just take random non sequitur riffs from people, from the writers, and then they just apply them to like randomly to these clips. It's like, that's actually a pretty good party game. Now, I think the reason I think it's underrated is a couple people, it's easy to have a really bad time with this if the people you're playing with aren't buying into the premise. And so I think it's easy to sort of forget about it or write it off. But I think for what it's trying to do, it does it so well. I don't know. It's one of the most underrated games of the year.
It just doesn't seem like it reached an audience outside of like people who know what Rift Tracks is. Even beyond that, it seems like it didn't get enough attention, right?
Yeah.
It maybe it's just such a niche kind of game that's gonna happen, but it feels like a shame.
Yes, totally. That said, I think we could probably delete it.
I think we can probably delete it.
Yeah.
Which is then, so we have 4 here. Which one do we delete? Again, Treasure Fans got enough love. Maybe that's the one that gets also taken off the list here.
Yeah, but then if that's the case, what wins in your?
Well, that's the thing, because I think me and you both think Mario Strikers is really underrated.
Well, this is our list. Let's do it. Yes,
let's do it.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm like, because I think actually out of these 3, I think it's the only Mario Strikers is the only one that makes perfect sense to me.
There you go. I like it. We did it.
All right. Okay. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we'll do our number 7 game of the year, and we're gonna pick our best Ninja Turtle. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. Be right back. All right, everybody. I'm gonna get a water. Let Mikey use the potty if he needs to, or anything like that.
Good. Okay,
Actually, you know, when we come back, maybe we can look at some of these super chats. We can keep up.
Yeah, let's do that. Send more. Again, we'll do. If you guys want us to if you want to make up a category, we'll answer. We'll do it if you send in a super chat.
Yeah, if you have a good category that you want me and Mike to consider it, don't make it too complicated. But if you send it as a super chat, we'll do our best to answer it. All right, so we have those ready to go. There's that. At this. You know what? I could just mute this here. bring it back up here in a second. Let me turn off Sonic R.
Turns off Sonic R. Super chats first.
Yeah.
Water?
I drink my water. Started. Yes, that's what we'll do.
Super chats.
Yes, can you read those?
This is on it good. Yeah.
You can? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sonic R is game of the year every year. All right.
Sonic R is a good game. It just is. It would have to be so much worse for it to still be good with how good that soundtrack
Yes.
is. And, like, it's not that bad.
All right, everybody. Okay, we're gonna bring it back in. We'll do the super chats. We got that there. I got my beer. I think we're good.
That's Great Lakes. That's Great Lakes Christmas sale.
Yeah, here you go. All right, we'll
If you had 12 dogs, though, 12 dogs at Christmas, that's also pretty good.
no,
Very
I'll
simple.
try it.
My thirsty dog.
All right, let's bring it back. All right, I have my Great Lakes Christmas Ale. Mike, I believe you do as well. Is that what you're drinking?
No, I have a Coke Zero. I'll get one more.
Right, well, after our next break. All right, cool.
You know, in Pentiment, there's a point where like Christmas ale's involved, and they literally call it the Christmas ale.
Yes,
I think.
and
I'm like, yeah.
I know. I saw that. I'm like, I think I had one. I think I walked to my fridge with my Steamdeck and got one and opened it up while that was happening.
Gosh.
All right, so I said before the break we'll get to our number 7. But we got some super chats here. Let me frame those up so you can actually see what the hell they say.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Mike, why don't you start right up there with Paul Newhouse?
Paul Newhouse asks, "Aren't you supposed to shave your head, Jeff?"
Yeah, I'm going to shave my head after Christmas. I promised my wife I wouldn't do it until after Christmas, but it'll happen this year.
All right. Bennett Ob says, "Thanks." He sent a much longer, very nice message to us and then forgot to do it in super chat. It was very nice. Thank you so much, Tennant. We appreciate it.
Yes, seriously, thank you.
Turbo Scar says, "Traveling from Brisbane to Sydney. Good to have the Beef and Cheddar boys on to keep
Trying to get it over
there. Scroll right. Keep me entertained."
Yes, we got there.
Thank you, Turbo. Iron Mike says, "Try putting another cardboard box between your mics." We got there.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Alex suggested additional screaming.
Yeah, that means if you go far enough around the bend.
I was going to laugh because at one point you're like, "We'll just be quiet." Then you got louder.
I know, and I was like, I think I said we should just be quiet, and immediately as soon as the show started, you just did the mic voice, and I'm like, this isn't going to work.
I know. I can't help it. I know.
I'm like, I didn't say anything because I'm like, of course we can't help it.
No. Ariel Delgado says, "I don't believe you're in the same room until I see you two fist bump. Is there a game genre you try to get into as a New Year resolution?" MMO for me, kind of. Here we go.
Yeah, my only gaming New Year's resolution is 1440p. Suck my dick, Tam.
That's a very funny joke. Wow. I kind of got into racing
You guys
games
can clip that and send it to him.
a lot more this year, so that was something. There's not many genres I'm not into, Jeff, is the problem.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I was listening to a podcast. I won't put anyone on blast, but like, who needs Game Pass with all this variety? I already know what kinds of games I'm into. I'm just going to play those same games forever. I'm like, what the hell are you? I've like, from the beginning, I was always like, I want to try everything. All this bullshit in the back of this PC gaming magazine that my parents just got me that I don't even have a gaming PC. Like, I want to try all this shit. So
this is more of a series. I specifically want to get into Tekken, whether that means playing Tekken 7 before Tekken 8 comes out or just playing Tekken 8. I never played much of Tekken, so I want to do that. Maybe even Tekken 3, because that's the one everybody loves, and I like the PlayStation vibes a lot.
We are going to play some Street Fighter 6 when that comes out. I'm ready to try the new Tekken. Let's do it.
So fighting games in general. Jesse Norris says, "Kiss to prove you're in the same." Mwah! Yeah. Yeah, what's the Lucy's reaction when Snoopy kicks like, I've been kissed by a dog. I need to get disinfected. Get a doctor. Nintendo says best surprise game of the year for a category has to be games that were both announced and released in this year. Yeah, okay, that's pretty interesting. That's a good one. What was
Get the iodine? That's right. So that's what she says. Yes. Sorry.
I guess that would be Pentiment had to be announced this year.
Best
right?
surprise game of the year for a category. Yeah, it has to be games that were both announced this year. Pentiment's a good one.
Pentiment had to be just announced this year.
Yeah, it was.
When
They announced it like just a few months before releasing it.
Right. Because yeah, otherwise I'm not sure. I think that's got to be it.
Yeah, it's like hard for me. I mean, Need for Speed Unbound.
No. I mean, that's a very short window between getting announced and released. I'll give it that.
It's Pentiment, yeah. I mean, Pentiment's like one of those ones where like I had heard about it for a while.
Monkey Island was announced this year and did actually. That's pretty good, but Pentiment's better than Monkey Island.
Yeah.
Let's see. From Reservoir Dogs, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, and Happy New Year. Seriously, thanks, chap. Thank you.
Yeah. Home Alone, top Christmas movie. Right? That's your favorite?
Home Alone 2 specifically is my favorite. Then
really?
Yes.
I mean, I have no issue with that.
I love New York at Christmas.
Sure, yeah. I mean, God, Miles Morales is great just because of that.
Right,
too.
so I just love that. But I feel like I like movies, even like movies set in Vegas. I like movies that make me feel like I'm on vacation when I watch them a little bit.
People are saying Xenoblade was announced this year.
Was it? Oh, damn. That's good.
Didn't Imran say it was coming though in like 2021?
That's why, yeah.
That's why it feels like, yeah.
But even still, it's surprised. I love Home Alone. Home Alone 1 and 2 where I can watch every single year. Home Alone 1 also very good, but again, Home Alone 2, the New York, and also it goes full like Looney Tunes with like the stuff, and I like that. Like you literally see the skeleton like when he's shocking.
Right, it is clear that they are some sort of demons that are being punished
like,
by.
It's getting bricks thrown at his head from like atop a building. It's great.
It rules.
Mm-hmm. And then Daily Beating says last minute addition to my favorite games of the year is this new Picross X.
I haven't touched it yet.
It's like Picross and WarioWare put together. It is phenomenal. LMAO. I've never gotten into Picross. You like Picross?
I love Picross. Picross 3D, best game of all time, maybe. Yeah, that's up there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys, keep sending super chats. Whether you have a question, a comment, or a category you want us to decide, we will get to them at some point during the show. We got plenty more to go through on our big in-person Game of the Year episode.
Yeah, I bought all this Mikey's pizza. We got waffle and chicken and waffle pizza. We got to pay for it. So,
and I don't even know how many likes we have, but push that like button. I don't know where the hell we are.
I think we must be at 100. That first digit's a 1 there. So.
Oh baby, maybe it's just one. Maybe only one person likes.
That's true. That's
maybe it's my mom.
Well, it's 1 in ellipses, so it could just be one lonely person.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think it's my turn to go first for our number 7 game of the year, Mike.
Well, do it, you coward.
Do you think I can remember?
No, I do not think that.
100%.
I guarantee you.
1,000% would not remember. All right. That's a very good video game.
Let's see.
Tinykin.
Man, this is one I maybe feel the worst about not playing.
Yeah, honestly, Mike, that's pretty fucked up.
It seems like something I would enjoy.
Tinykin is a 3D platforming collectathon. It just feels so good immediately. It's got a Paper Mario style to the characters, and then it's kind of just got a 3D world that you explore. You play as a little guy in a big world. That's always a good genre. I always like that. But it just feels good to jump around and to run around. You have the ability to like glide, and you get things that can make you glide longer. One of the best things is you start the game with this like skateboard bar of soap thing, and you can at any time hold the right trigger, slide on that, and you could slide down hills. But then if you hit like a rope that goes across the entire stage, you'll just grind super fast across it. It all feels great. It's just a really well done game. It's one of those games where you go into the world, a new stage, you see all the collectibles, you see some secret thing all the way across the thing. You're like, how am I going to get to there? And you slowly piece out through platforming and through some light puzzle solving how you're going to get there. It is such a fun game. I think it was Danny O'Dwyer on Twitter was like, hey, I just meant to try Tinykin. Oops, just played it for 4 hours. No. It is one of those.
Yeah, I really should play this.
I think you're really going to like it. I think like if Super Kiwi 64 is definitely one that's like in the same vein. That's like an hour.
Yeah, it's just not enough.
It's just, it's a $3 game.
It's great for what it is.
Yeah, it's great for what it is. You're just going to be able to fly through it. Tinykin is like the full thing. It's got there's a whole game there. There's a lot of different levels. They're really well designed, a lot of fun. Just a really standout game.
My number 7 is Pentiment.
Oh yeah.
Love Pentiment. This was
I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad to hear that.
it was one I like really like when that was my December. Okay, I'm gonna play this. Everyone's talking about how great it is, and I did like it a lot. And even the things I thought I didn't like about it, by the time I finished it, I realized didn't bother me as much. Like I was almost getting that LA Noire vibe where I was like, oh, I'm like, am I actually solving mysteries here? Is it like an illusion? And it's not even really that. Once I realized what was really happening, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like somehow your choices both matter and don't matter in a way that's really interesting. And you know what it is? It's a story game, but it's a good story. They set it in one of the most interesting periods in history. And you told me back when you played it, you knew this was like a time in history I just happened to be learning about.
Yeah, I knew you would love that.
And I was like, oh, this is great. I was just learning about all this. I was just reading about this. This is fantastic. I have context for all of this. Yeah, it's just wrapped around like all these different interesting things that are happening with peasants' revolts and the Reformation. Just a million little the Renaissance is like right around the corner happening in Italy already. All this really interesting stuff going on here. And it's just like, how much do you want to dig around? And maybe you think it's to help you solve mysteries, but it's to build your connection to this town and this people. Like when I was first playing it, I wasn't like, oh, well, now I need to go back to this house to see what these people think.
Right.
And then by like Act 2 and Act 3, it's like, oh, I have, the time has changed. I need to make sure I'm not missing out on any dialogue somewhere. Going around, seeing everything I can. And just the vibe, the whole kind of, late medieval tapestry look of it all. It was just, it was like cozy, it was intriguing, it was heartfelt. And it was unique, and we said this before. We do appreciate novelty these days.
Yeah.
And even though this is obviously like similar to other things like visual novels or like a detective game like a Phoenix Wright, still very much its own thing, and it really stands out.
Yeah, for me, this will be on my list later. Excuse me. For me, the big thing about it is just you kind of need to be a master of your craft to make a game like this.
Yeah,
you have to understand what games are capable of. You need to understand what, by making a choice as a developer, what it's going to make the player feel. And then you need to be able to understand, like, okay, well, if I want them to feel certain, or if I can make them feel a certain way, how do I get them to feel that way to prove a bigger point? And it does that repeatedly. So by the end, it is very difficult to not understand the themes that they're going for, because they get them across so strong. I think I wrote a list somewhere where it's like I wrote about it. Like the line I used was like, it is a game that plays you, and I've used that line before for other games. I think this one is like the pinnacle of that, where it understands how to get you to feel that way, because it that's what it's all about. Like I think Jesse in chat was he was reviewing it just before me. He's like, you get to decide kind of what the story is, and that is the story for you, and it doesn't really matter. So it's like this niche thing, and I'm like, yeah, but it's guys that were making Fallout New Vegas, and they understand how to do that stuff. So I was still curious, still ready to try it, and then of course I get my hands on it, and it's like, okay, this game is trying to put you in the mindset of, is it shameful to build on the past? Is it, or should you dwell on the past? And if you don't, and you try to build something new, are you doing something sort of immoral and wrong? Should you just be looking backwards? And it's like, man, that is it, and it's not just doing it about personal lives, but about society and culture as a whole. It's really powerful stuff.
Yeah,
An incredible game.
What do you say? How it feels like a masterpiece. This could never be somebody's first game or their second game, right?
Yeah, right. And I think
it feels mature, and not just like in terms of themes, but like mature in terms of game design.
Yeah, right. The true term masterpiece. Yes, it is a piece of a master. Absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool stuff.
All right, Mike. So
speaking of masters,
speaking of the great masters and their masterworks, the best Ninja Turtle of the year: Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, or Raphael.
So Michelangelo's a party dude.
Okay, Michelangelo's always been my favorite, but I'm ready to have a reckoning. I'm ready to reconsider.
He's not that good in the games.
He's not that good in the games. That's the thing.
It's too short.
Yeah, and it's like, if you were going to have someone without a lot of range, well, guess who's got a lot of power? It's Raphael. So
exactly. One of my favorite gaming moments of this year was when we were on Arcade Pit. You had to play Teenage Ninja Turtles 3 for the NES.
Yes, yeah,
and
I love that.
And I was like, you got pick Raphael. I know who's the best.
You're like, just do this move over and over. I'm like, thank you. I was like literally on Google trying to look up who was the best, and then I'm like, oh, Mike's,
I was like, I know.
Mike just knew.
Yeah. So, and Raphael's always good in these games, despite that range, because they do like it's like they're more aware of it with him. and it seems like they try to like even it out. And the Donatello's always good in these, even if he's a fucking nerd.
Right, but Donatello's like a nerd in like he actually knows shit. Leonardo is just a nerd in that he wants to be in charge.
He's the Cyclops, and sorry, Jan, no one likes Cyclops.
Listen, I want to say I'm so glad that Jan's favorite characters are he is a Leonardo. Yeah, it is. I'm so good because he absolutely is a Leonardo and Cyclops in a good way, in the best way. And I'm like, I was literally like looking at this category, not driving. I swear I wasn't driving when I was like looking at it on my phone. I was coming home from the gas station and thinking about this category, and it made me think of Jan. And I'm like, I'm so glad that he's that. But Leonardo's a fucking nerd.
Here's what I want to do for this category. I want you to delete all 4 of them.
Yeah.
No runner-ups.
Okay.
And I want you to write in April O'Neil.
Okay, I think that's probably right. All right.
And vote it right now.
Yes, all right. I think we found it. Yep, April.
April.
Oh, is it Neil?
I-L.
All right.
And I'm going to be the porn star.
Yeah. That's why I came to mind first.
That's why you were confused. Yeah. April,
All right. That looks good to me.
they gave my girl a dump truck in this game.
She's fun.
She's fun to play. Yeah,
Yes.
she's great. Yeah. Good job. All right, Jeff, what's next?
Give me your number 6 game of the year.
My number 6 game of the year is actually Power Slave Exhumed.
Hell yes. I love
If there's one game I wish more people could play, as long as I know you have like some kind of, because I know there's probably some people who are too young to be able to play a boomer shooter.
Sure.
But this is a boomer shooter that like is trying to be Metroid Prime before that happened. So if you don't know, Power Slave was a Sega Saturn first-person shooter. It also had a PlayStation port, and it plays like a Quake 1, where some 3D assets, like 3D levels, but a lot of 2D assets over it. You're running around, and there's like an ancient Egyptian theme or Egyptian theme, and that's pretty fun. But you have multiple levels, but each level is open, and you're getting power-ups that do things like let you glide or let you do a high jump and things like that. And then you're going back to levels to find new routes and to find, like, health upgrades and stuff. It's literally like Metroid Prime, just, way earlier than that, and with this aesthetic that I find really cool.
Real good.
And then this is a remaster of it by Night Dive Studios, who did like,
Yeah,
Quake,
MVG worked on it when we're friendly with MVG, so full disclosure. But
yeah.
But really, fuck that guy. It's a good game. good game anyhow, despite him.
But and of all of those though, and I went back to a lot of like old FPSs, like I played Turok 1 and Quake 1 and had a lot of fun with that. This is really special. This one I thought was really fun. I know that the remaster kind of took the best aspects of that Saturn and the PlayStation version and kind of combined them in a neat way. Again, if you have any affinity for kind of like that, like that sort of era of first-person shooters, right before basically Quake 2 and Half-Life changed the trajectory a bit. But this one is still being really interesting and kind of showing where it's going to go even after that somehow. It was just really cool to see, and it was still a lot of fun.
My number 6 game of the year is Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Hell yeah.
I really ended up adoring this game after spending way longer with it than I expected to because of the kids. But, it's... through their eyes, it gave me a chance to like appreciate a game just sort of being a fun little adventure. And then I kept playing it, got to the very end, got to the final bosses, which just kept getting bigger and more exciting and more difficult. And then there's more to the game after that, and it's like even more challenging and more exciting. And I think that the game does such a good job of having these big cinematic moments where they make Kirby feel so epic. And the mouthful modes where sort of ramping up throughout the whole game, and that last moment where you do like suck up the truck and you drive across the buildings.
Good.
It's really well done.
The game ramps up so well, and
yes,
not just in terms of like getting more interesting, more epic, but like an actual difficulty curve that curves upward and gently. Yeah. And so many games have a hard time doing that. The fact that Kirby has the best difficulty curve of like any video game in maybe 5 years is kind of incredible to me.
And it's like they play it on that breezy mode. And on breezy mode, it does still ramp up, but like it's just that ramp is much lower altogether. So it's like it is still getting more challenging for them, but they can handle it still. And I'm like, what? This game is just really well thought out, really well done. And I think that the power ups they feel like they're a little bit overpowered.
What's your favorite one?
By the end, I really like turning into the dragon with that dragon fire one.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I really like that, but my daughter really loves the ice powers. So I use that all the time, and honestly, it's great for so many different things. The fact that you could just like turtle as the little block of ice and nothing can hurt you, that's pretty fun too. I like that.
I used to never like Spike in these games, and then here it's like you're a pincushion, you're rolling things up. Like, oh, now I
feels like Katamari Damacy. Have you ever played Katamari Damacy?
No, that's a big pile of shame one, because it would be my thing.
That should be on it. We should do game clip.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's because a good one. It's not very low.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 6 game of the year. So for Mike, it was Power Slave Doomed, and for me, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Mike, that brings us to best remaster or remake. Do you want to read these?
Yes, sir. We have Live Alive, Crisis Core. What's its subtitle? It's like Crisis Core
Final Fantasy Reunion?
Crisis Core Reunion. No, Reunion's going to be Final Fantasy 7 Reunion's the next Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah, what the fuck is this called?
Crisis Core Chord. Apple Chord. Last of Us Reunion. Oh, it is Reunion. Okay. Last of Us Part. Wait, what the hell was the Final Fantasy 7 sequel called?
Rejoice, Reemploy, Rejigger, I don't know.
Okay. Last of Us Part 1. The Cowabunga Collection. That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Power Slave Exhumed. Speaking of that. Gosh, where do we start here? I like Live Alive a lot, Jeff.
Yeah, Live Alive is very well done. I mean, it is the best use of the 2D HD
Yes,
2D, right?
It's the best 2D HD game I have played.
It's like that concept fully realized, where it's like we have this classic game that is sort of locked away from an entire part of the world and always has been, and it inspired Chrono Trigger and all these other things. What can we do to it to make it viable today and make it appealing? Slap HD 2D on it, make it look gorgeous, and then on top of that, just kind of like let it be that game. And Live Alive turns out still fun today.
Yeah, like if you hadn't told me it was a remake, if you told me that this is just this is like Octopath Traveler, it's just a new thing, I would have believed it, because it does feel really innovative and it does feel really special, and like it's trying all these weird things. Like its structure is just so cool. It honestly, it still feels more ambitious than an Octopath Traveler, because each of the chapters isn't just a different character setting. There's kind of playing on what an RPG like this can be. Like one of them is much more about combat. It's almost like a fighting game.
Right.
One of them has very little combat. It's much more about story. One's more about puzzles, or all these things. And they come together in the end this really satisfying way. I loved Live Alive. Just was over the moon with it.
I've been playing a little bit of Crisis Core, and I think it's actually pretty impressive in terms of being in that remaster camp, where they are coming on the heels of Final Fantasy VII Remake, a fully reimagined version of Final Fantasy VII. And obviously there's the changes that they made, but the big thing is that is a game that just visually looks completely stunning and like a modern game.
Yeah.
And what they did with Crisis Core is, let's take the work we did there, apply it to this older PSP game, and make sure the visuals are up to snuff, and then it could still be the PSP game. I'm like, well, I mean, it looks pretty modern. It looks really well done. In terms of being a remaster, it feels like a big boy remaster. I kind of want to like give its flowers for that, but it also still is just that PSP game. I'm sort of iffy on that in terms of whether or not I'm loving the content. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just not. I mean, if you haven't played either one, you got Final Fantasy VII Remake still way more fun.
That's almost the problem with this, and I haven't played this yet, and I played the original Crisis Core, but like Final Fantasy VII Remake is so good. It's like, you have to kind of get people back in this, and people have been asking for Crisis Core to get remastered for a long time. I'm glad that they did.
Yes, I'm glad they got there.
And I think this is as good a job as you could do with that, but yeah, like, is it more exciting to me than Alive? Probably not.
Right. Let's leave it for now, because the next one I'm like, kind of want to cut, because I don't think you touched it, and I only watched Dan do the quick look, and that quick look...
That was very extensive.
Yes, people said that it's like one of the best and most thorough things that they saw.
Yeah, you really changed my perspective on that one.
Yeah.
It was like 2 seconds.
It was like literally 30 seconds.
Are you shocked that... Like, I know we were dismissive of it. Were you shocked that, like, everyone... Is this my bubble that nobody talked about Last of Us Part 1, really?
Yeah, I don't think it's your bubble. I think it's the reality, but keep in mind the show's about it.
All right, I guess.
I mean,
well, finally, because it's the greatest story ever told in video. I think I tweeted, like, I'm just going to embrace The Last of Us becoming the new most obnoxious.
Yes, right. I mean, I don't want to get in its way, right?
Yeah, I was like, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I like Last of Us 1.
Everyone got so mad about Metroid Prime being the Citizen Kane of video games.
Yeah.
I'm just going to people are being weird about this.
Yeah.
Last of Us, am I right?
Yeah, right. It's so weird. Yeah, you guys enjoy that. Look, it's still weird that they remade this game after 9 years. It's still just weird. So it's not the best.
Not the best. If this was most unnecessary, and you know, it made sense for Sony. I bet it's going to make them money. It just didn't make much sense for anyone else.
Yeah.
Cowabunga Collection. That's pretty good.
Definitely my favorite. I haven't played Atari 50, but this was my favorite collection of the year. And like, is that a remaster remake? It's kind of in that vein. I guess
it fits this category, but it's like, does it rise to the occasion?
Well, but they do like cool stuff. Like you know, like you have these kind of in-game manuals and that help you. And there's even some stuff like for the NES games to turn off the sprite flickering, which is a big help. Or you know, even change the inputs a bit for like the SNES version of Turtles in Time, so that the dashing is better. Small stuff, but man, that stuff can make a difference. These games are so good. Getting to discover that weird Game Boy Turtles that's actually a Metroidvania is super cool. And again, like the manual gives you a more detailed map than the one you get from the pause menu. It just helps make that even better to explore. I spent a surprisingly large amount of time with Cowabunga Collection this year.
Like I'm gonna delete Crisis Core because I want you to tell me about Power Slave Exhumed, one of your top 10 games of the year.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna make this list.
I think so. I mean, I talked about how much I did love it, and it's this weird, it's this combination, kind of like with Live Alive, where the game both just holds up anyways.
Yes,
but now it looks better than it ever did. But I think I would give Live Alive an edge because it's just more of an extensive remake in terms of what it's doing with the graphics. Like that HD 2D thing, it's just a way to both preserve the look of the original, but make it look modern and new in a really cool way. And I don't know if I necessarily would want Power Slave Exhumed to look any different, but I think that is more impressive. It's certainly more impressive than a collection like Cowabunga.
Right. So, I mean, between Live and Live and Power Slave Exhumed,
I think I give it to Live Alive.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Live Alive is just kind of across the board impressive. I only played the demo, but I played all three of the things in there and really.
Good stuff.
All right. That brings us to our number 5 game of the year, and I'm first here, so I should probably get my answer up there. There it is. I don't want to do like a last minute shuffle around just to make you mad, but Vampire Survivors is a top 5 game of the year.
Actually, I was worried it'd be higher. You're right. I was worried it would be higher. Oh, that's fine. I'm not mad at this game. I do get it, but what? Like, I guess maybe could you sell me a little bit more on like why it's super special, or is it really just that it feels so good to play?
Well, I think it is. It's so good to play, and it's really good at having the meta unlocks as well as the in-game unlocks. So, making that progression over a half an hour period is really, really good, and moving the character around and sort of starting. I mean, it's just as fun to play as the pacifism mode in Geometry Wars. Just now it's bigger and more, and there's a full game there. And it's like, to me, okay, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do that. That sounds like one of the best things ever. Turns out, yeah, that's exactly right. It feels like one of the best things ever because it's just like, let's hit you over the head with just being a fucking video game. It's gonna feel good. We're gonna give you a whole bunch of different weapons that feel very different from one another, and you need to learn how to use them. And all you can really do to use them is move your character around relative to the enemies a little bit differently. That's it. And it's okay, that's something I can easily manage. But surprisingly, you end up feeling very different throughout that half an hour period before death comes and usually almost always kills you. Now, at a certain point, you are going to become this unstoppable killing machine, and that's your reward for like getting through the first 10, 15, 25 minutes of the match. And once you are at that point, I think we put it on our moment of the year on Giant Bomb. It's like, that is so satisfying. But then on top of it, it's like, okay, and then there's this a million things to unlock, new levels, new characters, new weapons. Then they kept adding stuff, like there's this whole card system now that you can bring into matches to change the way things work. It's just so fleshed out and well thought out that it's like, okay, it is this tiny little thing that feels good. And then on top of that, they kept it interesting throughout. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of my favorite ones to just pick up and start playing.
Yeah, no, you're right. I do like it. It didn't make my list, but I'm not that down on it. My number 5 is actually Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which we talked about quite a bit. Again, I like beat 'em ups a lot. And even like, you know, even when they announced it looked really cool, you're wondering like, well, how gimmicky is this going to be? Is this really going to hold up, have some depth to it? And it really did, you know? It's fun to go through and play as all these different characters. A lot of really cool levels. My one complaint is that that first level is actually maybe the best one.
Yeah.
Like that's where they're letting the foot soldiers really be silly and
Mhm.
goobers, like working
The
with.
news station, right?
Yeah, the news station. Yeah, the news station is kind of the best level.
Yes, it rules.
It rules. But still, it's a very enjoyable playthrough, and there are still some cool levels, especially the ones that have the actual songs
Yeah.
playing. So when you're in the sky on the boards and all that stuff,
Yeah.
great stuff. One of my biggest wishes that these people just make a Simpsons arcade
Yep.
like a sequel. I'd be so happy.
Yeah, I really like Shredder's Revenge. I'm glad it's like getting its recognition. All right, best Steam Deck game of the year. Let's read these ones. It's Vampire Survivors, Elden Ring, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Evil West. Do you want to add any others?
It's weird because like I didn't play a lot of new games on my Steam. My favorite Steam Deck game this year was Ace Combat 7, which rules on Steam Deck so much. I think we can go with your choice. My question with Vampire Survivors is playing that on your Steam Deck better than playing it on your phone, which you can just do now, right?
Oh yeah. Because I played it on the Steam Deck, I can't play it on the phone. Like it just doesn't work for me. I have to. I'm like, oh, I've played it on the Steam Deck, and this feels perfect. To go to the phone, it's like, oh, this is something different. I'm sure there will people who will come to it on phone first will feel the opposite, but for me, it's like, no, the fact that I can like just boot this game up. I mean, Vampire Survivors was right there when I got my Steam Deck. It is one of the first games I tried. It didn't work at first. I had to go into the Proton settings and like use a different Proton. I got it working right away, and I'm probably one of the first people in the world to play Vampire Survivors on their Steam Deck, and I just immediately was like, okay, this is great. It's pretty stupid to have this super powerful handheld, and I'm playing Vampire Survivors, but again, it's a game you could just play, and it feels really good. So yeah, that's definitely going to probably be on this list. But at the same time, I got my Steam Deck right when Elden Ring came out.
Right, you reviewed it on your Elden Ring.
I played it. I played
Steam Deck.
150 hours on my
That's
Steam
incredible.
Deck. And it's it definitely was in the 30 to 40 FPS range for most of the time, and it would drop down to 20s if it's fucking Elden Ring. It's not optimized, but it didn't have that stuttering that it had on other like the other PC versions at the time when it launched. Because Valve fixed it. They went the thing, so it's like it was actually kind of smoother than when I was playing it on my proper PC. So I'm like, I'm fine with playing it this way, and it felt to me like, oh, this is kind of this vast world, massive map that just kept getting bigger and bigger, and yet I'm holding it. I'm up close. I'm a part of this world. It's right there in front of my face. I fell in love with it because I could have it right there and hold it in my hands. I'm like surprised that no Elden Ring, one of the best Steam Deck games here. And then these other two, I think between these two, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga and the Evil West. Skywalker Saga is still just a Lego game, so it's fun if you're just like wanting to play something, but it's also one where it's like it's easy to get kind of bored because it's just so it's like it's one where I think
wasn't it like I didn't even play it, but it's supposed to be a lot more open world now, right? But does that not make that much a difference?
it doesn't make too much more of a difference because eventually you're just gonna get to the thing you're going to on the map. You're gonna get to the waypoint and you're gonna do the Lego game stuff. You're gonna build a thing with the bricks, and then you're going to throw that. It's going to connect to another thing, and that'll solve your puzzle. And it's I mean, it's fun. It's really great. It's the best Lego game ever. But it's and it worked really great on the Steam Deck. But it's not like on my top 10 games. It's not going to be the best Steam Deck game of the year. So that leaves Evil West, which I was surprised how well this worked. Evil West is that Xbox 360 game we talked about earlier, or Xbox 360 like game. It just came out. It's completely new. It's this beat 'em up action shooter game where it's over the shoulder, and it's just like I'm surprised how well this fits on this into this mold of just being like, oh yeah, I can pick this up and play it as a handheld game now. But I've been playing that recently, really enjoying it.
How's that one run?
It runs perfect. I try to run all my games at 40 frames per second on the Steam Deck, and so it's like and it's hitting that perfect. So it's been really impressive. But I think of these, I'm probably gonna go with Elden Ring because it's kind of wild that game worked as well as it did. It should not have worked as well as it did.
Number 4.
Yeah, Mike, you're up first.
My number 4 is Live Alive. Talked about this a bit, but for a while, there's a few JRPGs I played this year, and not the spoil rest list. This was the top one. Oh, when I was playing through Xenoblade, I was like, which one do I like more, Live Alive or Xenoblade? And I talked before, Xenoblade lost me a little bit at the end, whereas Live Alive was just a treat the entire time. It ends strong. It just goes it goes to really interesting places. It's sticky. Live Alive is a game that I am still thinking about, and I imagine I'm going to be thinking about for a while still. As long as I'm alive.
For me, my number 4 is, and I just realized I was like making a mistake on this because I meant to do this earlier. It actually is Marvel Snap.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Wow! Wow! Okay, I wasn't seeing this one coming.
Marvel Snap is the big thing here for me with Marvel Snap is that I kind of can't. Well, I mean, we talked about it, but it's just like it stuck with me even past that early point of like, oh, it's so simple to get a game in 3 minutes,
Right.
And then I'm like, well, is it going to stick with me after that? It did. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely up there.
It'll be fun. We can play each other.
Yes, and I'm like really excited to see how they've already said, okay, it's going to be this 10-game thing. And
Yeah,
it needs to be. Like you can't play. I think the thing with Turbo Sean and Christian were like, oh, where we play Magic the Gathering, we play Pokemon the trading card game. You can play one match of those, and that feels like you've done something there. You can't play one hand of poker.
No,
You can't play one hand of Marvel Snap. It's not going to be the same thing. So I'm ready to see what that looks like. All right, let's get to the most forgettable game of the year.
It's gonna be fun.
For our nominees here, we have Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Ghostwire Tokyo, Trek to Yomi, Saints Row, Scorn, and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Any others we should add?
No, I forgot them. What do we? You know what? I will say this about Saints Row: I haven't forgotten how much of a flop it was.
Yeah, I does kind of like I do think about it every once in a while. Like I should go play that, but it's only when I'm reminded that it exists.
Yeah,
to be fair,
I guess I could say the same thing like about a Gotham Knights, right? Which isn't on here.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I think I just forgot to put it on there because I forgot it existed. So maybe it could go up there, but I suppose we could probably not put Gotham Knights and not put and take down Saints Row. Those are more just like big flops, right?
Yeah. Whereas like Ghostwire Tokyo, like that was like supposed to maybe be kind of something. Oh, there you go, Jeff.
Yeah, no problem.
There.
Yeah, I'm just showing the table who's boss.
Yeah, it's supposed to be kind of something, and then was nothing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I know people enjoyed it, or I know people who did enjoy it, but it mostly seemed to come and go. And then once it was gone, it never had that sort of like, that was actually pretty good or anything. Like, it didn't have anything. People just stopped talking about it, and I forgot about it until I was putting together this list legitimately.
Fire here just said would Gran Turismo 7 count?
Ooh,
I would have put Gran Turismo 7 under underrated myself, but I think I'm alone on that.
Well, no, I don't. I think
I'm not alone,
people really like that.
Yeah, but people got upset about the monetization and they're right, but I'm surprised there aren't more people who are able to kind of look past that and just ignore it like I was.
I mean, that sounds like Mario Strikers.
A little bit of a Mario Strikers thing. Yeah. Like, obviously there's a point like in a Diablo Immortal, I get it. How that just completely brings the whole thing down. But Tiny Tina's Wonderland is weird, Jeff, because like it certainly was forgettable to me and to you. Yeah. It seems like it's almost entering this, obviously not on the scale, but a Call of Duty
its own orbit.
Yeah, where it's like it's a big thing that does really well. There are people who do really care, and there are a lot of them. But man, I don't.
Yeah, but then I also want to remove Scorn because Scorn is, I think it found its audience, and then people didn't like it, but it wasn't necessarily forgettable.
Yeah, I mean, Scorn was never my thing, anyways. I was never gonna care about Scorn.
But it's definitely like when I saw that quick look, I'm not gonna forget anything I saw there. But we get rid of Tiny Tina's Wonderland because then we're left with Ghostwire Tokyo, Trek to Yomi, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks.
I can't even remember what I thought it was Trek to Yumi. Is it Yumi or Yami? Am I wrong?
I think it was Trek to Yomi. I think
man, I don't even know. What even was that?
That's the one that was in a couple PlayStation State of Plays as that like 2D samurai black and white action game.
And it came out.
It came exactly.
Oh,
yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's in a big these big State of Plays, and then it comes out and no one said anything about it. And it's not like it was just PlayStation; it was on PC as well, I think. So, but I don't know. I mean, we could leave it on there.
No, I think we get rid of Tiny Tina's.
Okay, get rid of Tiny Tina's.
We haven't talked about Mario plus Rabbids yet.
Right, but that's the one. It's like we do put that on because I bounced off it.
I bounced off it too.
It is the game that I'm like ready to play next on my Switch at least. But it does seem like no one else is talking.
There's a couple, like, I was listening to the besties, and they were kind of high on it. There are some people like, yeah, this is good, this is better. But even they always admit, like, Then once you're done with it, you kind of forget about it, right? And there was a bit of that in the first one, even. But like, I think if you do that again, even when you do have these gameplay improvements, and it does have gameplay improvements, it feels better to play than the last one. And yet, I played less of it.
Yeah.
And also, Edge sucks.
Yeah, Edge
is such a poochie.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Poochie. We should have a Poochie.
Poochie of the year. Edge would win.
But I mean, the girl from Bayonetta 3 as well is also.
Oh, that's a Poochie too. Yeah.
But I was about the bold Ghostwire Tokyo.
I think that's right. I think Ghostwire wins it.
Most forgettable game of the year was Ghostwire Tokyo, followed up by Trek to Yomi and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Should we take another break before we do the final three here?
I think that's exactly what we should do. Thank you, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, this will just be a quick one. Mike's going to do his business. We'll get right back into it. Yeah, Christmas is here early, Diarrhea Jr. What a good name. Check my DM, you fool. No! Fuck you, Christian. All right, let's see here. It says DM, and he just assumes I know what platform he means. This is what you get for working with Argentinians. Don't clip that. All right, not on Twitter. It's probably Discord. You think this is him? His the picture is a man in a blue and white striped shirt kissing a golden trophy. It's probably him. Okay. Yeah, Christian. Yeah, I'll do that. Yes, Ace Combat 7 is the one with the JPEG dog. One of my favorite moments in any video game ever. Because it like doesn't even hurt the game a little bit. It just fucking rules. It's so funny. Oh, fuck. Uncharted Wolf, Rainbow Six Extraction. Holy shit. Man, I so mega forgot that. It didn't even come up. I'll ask Mike when he comes back if he wants to reconsider the category. Roofy Mike's Coke says internal. Don't approve of that. I had no issues with Rainbow Six Extraction except for I didn't find it any fun. Lost Ark is, yeah. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. Jorge, and last time we did our favorite waifus on an episode, it got very out of hand. it tainted the podcast for a really long time. Yeah, it changed our personal brands. I mean, waifus are allowed, Christian. It just we don't want to make them like the content. We forgot Rainbow Six Extraction.
That came out this year?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, the real winner was always going to be a game we actually forgot.
Right? I mean, come on.
Yeah. I haven't played Nobody Saves the World. I need to try it. I know Dan really likes it. I think Jess really liked it too. I need to actually try.
Like opening with one hand, I feel cool.
And Hero of Time asks, Jeff, how much money to pretend to be my dad for a day and say you're proud of me? Mike could be my uncle for a tip. Yeah, I don't know. I'll do it for like $5.
I'm basically a professional uncle now.
Yeah.
I've gotten so good at uncling.
Yeah, you're like an uncle many times over.
Yeah. You know, I live for it's good stuff.
Good at it.
So much uncling on the Disney trip. The uncle energy was incredible.
All right. Let's I'll bring it back in. Good.
Where's Super Chat reading first?
Oh yeah, hang on, let me get that center. Do this one.
Well, the bottoms are the newest one. I think the Picross one's the last one we did. So
okay, so
Aaron.
Okay. All right, let's get back into it, Mike. While we were on break, someone reminded me of Rainbow Six Extraction. We're gonna leave Ghostwire Tokyo because, as you pointed out, the real winner was always going to be when we completely forgot.
Yeah, one we actually forget was going to be the most forgettable game.
And if you're that forgettable, you just actually get put into the Phantom Zone and we never even
Yeah, exactly. You go in the mud hole.
All right, we got some super chats. Why don't you read some of those?
Aaron Cool Q says, Neon White is such a great surprise for me. It's the first-person platformer I really enjoyed. Scroll.
I'm getting
you could do this.
It's not
really
a keyboard.
And what a great time trial leaderboard. Yeah, we haven't actually talked about Neon White yet. I imagine we will soon. Don't worry. Char Wolf says, favorite game your co-host dislikes and favorite soundtrack of the year. So he's got some suggestions. Let's do this. What games? Well, dang it. You kind of liked Sonic. That ruins that for me.
Yeah.
I think that Immortality looked fucking dumb, and you seem to kind of enjoy it. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So
then it's my favorite game your coast dislikes. So yeah, my favorite one would be Immortality.
What games did you dislike this year? Because I mean, we agree on Stray and Tunic.
I mean, I didn't dislike it all that much, but I only played an hour of God of War, and I disliked 2018.
So I like God of War quite a bit.
Yeah,
we'll go with that. Soundtrack of the year. God, there's a lot of good soundtracks. Probably Xenoblade. Honestly.
Yeah, I really like that Kirby one now after listening to it 500 times. I'll like be walking upstairs like for a break during the day, and I'll just find my daughter like singing it to herself, like humming it to herself, and I'm like, that's really sweet and nice. And then so there's the
for Mike, best live alive route. I think Imperial China was the best. Prehistory was also very good. Near future, the worst. And it says, you guys are the best. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Uncharted Wolf. Then the marvelous Breadfish is, when are you cowards going to play Binding of Isaac Repentance? Anyways, thanks for another great year of content. And here's to great 2023. This is a game that I am shocked we haven't played. Again, the besties have been going on about it.
They're the reason I have to try it.
Have we not played this one?
Russ was like playing it for a long time on the besties, and then got everyone else to play it, and they won't stop playing. Okay, I'm gonna...
Yeah, maybe a game club game someday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play it sometime soon. Again, another. Right.
Yeah, Jared Helder says Pentiment is my game of the year. I appreciate choice-based narratives, and Josh Sawyer proves that he's a master of this. Have you played master of the genre? Have you played New Vegas? Yes, New Vegas is great. I just watched that guy who did the video on freaking H Bomber. The guy who did the Tommy Rico. He has a very long video on why.
Yes, he
New
does.
Vegas is great, and it's very good.
That's a good video. Yeah.
Even if I don't necessarily agree with him that like Fallout 3 is bad,
right?
Like I still agree that New Vegas is definitely better. So, Max J says, buying this just to say I love you both. Happy Xmas. Hey, happy Xmas to you. Hey, look, it's Brad. Basement Radio Arcade Podcast says happy holidays, Jeff and Mike. Happy holidays to you, sir.
Happy holidays.
Got a special Nick. Look, people with short messages and giving us money. I love it. It says, love you. Love you too, special Nick. Thank you so much. Burrito says, love you folks. Happy holidays and happy New Year. Yeah, look at just a bunch of nice messages there. Thank you, guys. You can keep sending super chats. We will read them again before the end of the show. But it's time to get to our top 3 game of the years and a few more categories also, huh?
Yes. So my number 3 game of the year is, and I'm talking like this to give me a second. This is tough because you get to the top 3. For me, it's not like a lot of years where it's like, I definitely know what number 1, 2, and 3 is. Any one of these could be my number 1.
That's interesting because for me, I had my 1, 2, and 3. I think pretty easy. So.
And it's like I'm gonna say this one. I think years from now, this one might be the one that like sticks with me the most. It's Pentiment.
Okay.
We talked about it a lot, but just to reiterate, kind of, it's a perfect game for what it's going for because it accomplishes exactly what it's going for, and it's aiming so much higher with its goals, and it nails it. It feels sure you feel like you're learning, but I also feel like I'm like feeling something about the human experience. In a way that's like, oh yeah, a lot of games don't even try this.
When's the last time you liked such a wordy game?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe never.
Right, because like for a while you were just like, maybe I just hate words.
Yeah.
It turns out you just dislike bad stories or like mediocre stories unnecessarily interrupting much better gameplay.
Yes, and I since then I was trying Citizen Sleeper and having a pretty good time with that, and that's way more wordy than Pentiment. Pentiment's actually, people like to call it a book. It's actually pretty restrained. It's like a paragraph at a time at most. It's pretty. They hold back.
It's like adventure game dialogue.
Yes,
like without necessarily puzzles.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give more wordy games a chance. That's why I'm like, I guess I don't know what they say. Danganronpa's a visual novel. I guess that probably means it's wordy. Like I guess maybe I'll consider it. And then I saw 20 hours just to get the fuck out. But like no, yeah, Pentiment, incredible game. I think it's one that I played it. I think like again, like Jesse, we were talking. He was like, "Hey, this is really niche." But I think at this point, I'm like, more people are going to like this than dislike it at this point.
Yeah.
Some people, it's just not going to be for them. Absolutely,
Sure,
but most people, I think, are going to come into it and be like, "Wow, this is actually really impressive."
it does a good job of being about like interesting things, important things, and like maybe heady things, but it never feels pretentious.
No, yeah, it feels like it has its head on its shoulders in a really strong way.
Yeah. My number 3 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This was a game
Hell yeah.
maybe I was looking more forward to than any other game this year. I've been wanting a 3D Kirby game for so long, and it just completely delivered. We talked about how much we like this. I talked about how that difficulty curve is just so satisfying, where it just starts off as this fun romp. If you even by the time you beat it, it's like a little challenging, but then those extra levels, which do continue the story, it's not like they're just like super gamey, like click this menu option. It's like, oh, this is more stuff here. Even like the final Coliseum thing you do is so cool with the like the super hard mode fights on there. Just I love 3D platformers, and I'm so happy Nintendo finally made another good one that isn't just a Mario game again.
Yeah.
And I hope we get so many more of these. I hope they bring more characters back into this space. They did a perfect job of translating Kirby into that genre.
Yeah, and it's like, it's so nice to just see a studio like HAL still making Kirby games and finding new ways to make them new and interesting. It's like, man, HAL's been doing this for forever, and it just like, I don't see HAL Labs on a lot of games these days. It's like just pretty much Kirby. It's like, oh, well, you know what? That's fine, because Kirby is bigger than ever.
Yeah, it really is. And it is kind of like, it feels like that now. And it's like, man, what's next? I mean, we know there's that remake next, and I'm looking forward to it, of Return to Dreamland, but there's going to be more. They're making fun of your typing.
Yeah, because I'm like I'm like going around my, you know what? Fuck you. How about that?
That's actually how he always types.
No,
don't listen to him.
I am one of the best typists. Go to hell. You all go to hell.
Speaking of going to hell, let's talk about Weeb Games.
Number 3 is, again, mine was Pentiment. Mike's was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. All right, Mike, read our nominees for Best Weeb
Not
Game.
any of these are actually from Japan. We have Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Neon White, Disney Dreamlight Valley, Need for Speed Unbound. It's Final Fantasy Origin Stranger of Paradise. Where to start here? Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is... I respect how much worse the weebiness could have been.
Yeah.
It's weeby in a very respectful way.
It's mature weeb.
Yeah. It's correct, because there are still very weeby elements in terms of, like, fighting for your friends and the power of friendship and the big... there are still some... I'll just say it, Jeff. There are still some big anime girl tits in this game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And yet, it's still coming off of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It almost seems Puritan.
Yeah, yes. It feels like you're going to church. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, but it's still very weeby.
It's still very weeby, but in a way I enjoy. Every once in a while I like to pretend I live in a world where the power of friendship can solve most of the problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, it can build bridges across cultures, absolutely, to solve death.
Yeah.
Neon White is not a Japanese game, like many games on this list, and yet it's like, let's go get the voice actors from all your favorite anime dubs. Yeah, exactly. Here's Spike Spiegel.
The problem here is that all the weeb stuff of it is kind of a detriment.
Yes, it's not good weeb stuff.
Yeah, they have like Violet. It's just like, what's that character archetype? The Sunder?
Soon, I never knew how to. I always said Tsundere. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not
a bunch of weirdos. So like, it's hot how she wants to murder me with a knife.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
and I'm like, is it? Okay. Yeah, sure.
We don't know how to spell it, Chris.
Yeah,
we don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I know how to spell it. Yeah. So I guess it's a good game, but the weebness is not great.
Tsundere.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, weird. Disney Dreamlight Valley. I don't even know why, but there's a lot of weeb energy in this. Where is it coming from?
I mean, I think it's coming from like the character creation thing.
Is it coming from Jan's Avatar's dump truck?
Yes, mostly from that Jan's Avatar's dump truck, but yeah, I mean, I could see it, but it's also one we could probably delete.
But there's also a lot of power of friendship.
Yeah, there is. Yes, it feels like a Harvest Moon kind of game. Definitely, there's some lineage there, but I don't.
Minnie's a ghost.
Okay, well maybe we should leave it.
Minnie's a ghost. You have to like bring her back.
Yeah.
Again, it's like surprisingly weeby. Maybe we should leave it just in case. Get rid of Neon White, because Neon White isn't, the weeb stuff is bad there.
Right. Yes. There we go.
Yeah. Need for Speed Unbound. Here, the weeb stuff is actually the good stuff in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least aesthetically, the characters talk so much, Jeff. They just won't shut
They
the
do
hell
not
up.
shut up. Yes.
It's so like I was having more fun playing like Need for Speed Underground 2 in the GameCube, which definitely looks worse. Plays like they both play good.
Yeah, they probably played pretty close.
And they're both trying to be like hip for their time. But the characters don't talk nearly as much during races. That's for sure.
But there's anime touches when you do like hard turns and stuff and spins with your tires.
Now, some people would say that's not anime; it's just kind of animation effects, and like I get it. I still get an anime vibe from it.
Definitely.
But I don't know. Maybe it's not enough anime.
Let's delete it. Okay. All right. That leaves us with Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins. Mike?
Yeah.
What do you think about Final Fantasy?
What do you think about Final Fantasy?
What do you think about Final Fantasy?
It's all right.
Can I ask you about Final Fantasy?
I want to talk to you about Final Fantasy.
Actually, you're right. Never mind. Don't talk about it.
What's weird? The weeb stuff in this game is so weird. There's like the what's that? There must be an archetype where there's like that perfect angel girl.
I think there's an archetype for all of them.
Yeah.
Like it's archetypes all the way down.
Yeah, perfect angel girl who like just exists to be an angel. Sorry, I'm gonna spoil. I don't care.
Oh yeah, no, it's game of the year. You get spoiled.
When she dies, it's so funny because it's like you literally escort her and her little sister out of like the town that's under attack by monsters.
Hell yeah!
And then like and you're doing that shit, and like it's this whole thing, and then you get to the gate. You're still in the city, and then Jack just goes, "I need to go for a walk," and leaves, and comes back. Dead. He's like, oh, I don't know what that has to do with being weeb. I just need to get that off my chest because I couldn't believe it. I
I think we leave it, even though it has nothing to do with being a weeb. I mean, clearly, it's.
I mean, it has very, like all these archetypes. Like your one friend is basically just that. I don't even know what you call it. It's like Axel from Kingdom Hearts / that same character from Final Fantasy VII, Reno. It's just one of those.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a little wiry, and he talks like, and I'm kind of sarcastic, and I'm the one with the jokes. Like that asshole.
Sure, yeah.
But like,
Mike Minotti, yeah.
I'm also kind of insecure, and it's like, and my hair's red, and
Oh yeah, one of those. Yeah,
one of those.
I think there's one of those in Crisis Core.
Yes, it's probably Reno.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah,
It's Reno. This is all. He has the same voice every time. It's always people. Again, I don't understand why voice acting for anime dubs is like a completely different practice,
right,
than normal voice acting,
or like the human communication. It's
right?
Like,
why do they do it differently?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that energy there, and yet I still think the winner is Disney Dreamlight.
Yes, let's do it. I love this.
It gives me the strongest weeb vibe.
Best weeb game. The runner-ups are Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Stranger of Paradise. And your winner is Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Congratulations, Disney.
You guys can clip that and send that to Jan.
If there's one, I would have said a physical award. You get the Messies. Here's your Messi.
Yes. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, actually makes sense. Yeah.
All right. That's what we were
it.
going for.
All right. We have another category before we get to our number 2 here. Old Game of the Year. We have a couple listed. 13 Sentinels, Hitman 3, Streets of Rage 4, Ace Combat 7, and we're open to recommendations because I'm like, I just couldn't remember much else they're old games I played, but
13 Sentinels was hit for me because it got a port on Switch, and I bet for like some people maybe like Persona 5 would be something like that, something that
right. I didn't
Switch
touch Persona
port.
5, yeah,
right. I like 13 Sentinels a lot. I wonder if you know.
I know what I'm.
You know what's interesting, Jeff?
What's interesting?
There's a bit of Pentiment in 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, no, I people have told me.
Yeah, I just realized that because 13 Sentinels is interesting because it's 2 games. There is like that turn-based tactic stuff. It's kind of tower defense-y. But then there's the stuff that's basically Pentiment, where you're just walking around talking to people. In very much a Pentiment way more weeby than that, and with a lot more naked teenage Japanese girls. But interesting and fun, even though it feels like it's going to get too stupid at any moment. It somehow works.
Yeah, and that's the biggest surprise to me is because I've had it explained to me, and having it explained, it's very stupid.
It sounds very stupid.
And then the fact that they pull it off, to the point where everyone is convinced that they pulled it off, they must have pulled it off.
Right, like it should have become a Lost or one of those things, like, this is too dumb, who even cares? I'm like, oh, this actually all kind of makes sense and is satisfying somehow. Yeah.
And you'll have perfectly rational adults be like, no, those teens had to be naked.
Right, and
everyone, they're like, once you explain, they still didn't have to be like, Yeah, but you really need to play it.
It's better than like the Quiet had to be wearing a swimsuit.
And again, that's like I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah, yeah. So that was definitely, I think, my favorite kind of Johnny Come Lately game that I experienced this year.
All right. We want to pick one winner here, or do we just each want to pick our favorite?
Oh, just one. We're gonna fight.
All right, cool. Hitman 3 got an update this year with like a new map.
Yeah, that map rolled,
and it was a very good map. And then also, it's just a fun game to go back to at any time. And it's like, man, through Game of the Year playing all those games, I was just like, kind of want to go back and just play Hitman. That's like where I've been for a while now. It is very well done. They did a teaser of their roguelite mode, which is really, really exciting, really well done. They got your whole base that you could fill out by slowly like putting every little piece of equipment on the wall. And as long as you like don't fail a mission, like there's no penalty, so you just keep growing and growing. And if you do fail, take a penalty, you lose like some progress. It's just really smart. That's not out yet, but still they're just doing so much with Hitman. It's the best it's ever been. And it's been a Game of the Year contender every time one of those Hitmans have come out since 2016. Like, that's impressive stuff.
Christian brought up Fall Guys, which that did go free to play early in the year.
Very good one.
Well, he had a lot of fun. I mean, Fortnite also, obviously, we kind of talked about that. And
yeah,
Fortnite's kind of gotten it.
Put up here, and then we'll delete it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I maybe even had more fun at Fall Guys. So that little bit we were all playing it again.
Yeah,
it's just, man, that's a fun.
Well,
that's one
because the custom games came out.
Yeah,
and they work really well.
Yeah. I could happily go back to Fall Guys at any point. It's super fun. So maybe that stays up there. What? So like, I love Streets of Rage 4. I just basically been playing it since it came out. So like, it's also not that old yet, I guess. But neither is 30 Sentinels. What do you think about with Streets of Rage 4?
Yeah, for me, it was just like going back and realizing how much stuff they added again.
Oh, because you didn't play that Mr. X DLC yet.
Right. So like that stuff.
I don't even think that came out this year, but you just hadn't played it yet.
No, I hadn't played it yet.
Yeah,
so
good.
And I've done it twice because when my sister-in-law comes over, she brings it. She's been playing it nonstop, so she has all the stuff unlocked. And we put her Switch in the dock, and we play it, me, my wife, and her. And we will do like that roguelike where it's like it's the survival mode. You just try to get as far as you can, and you get the what they call them, like you get the different variables that your characters can. You get different upgrades.
Builds and
yeah. So you could have a completely different build each time. And it's like, oh man, they figured out how to keep these games. Like they've always been super replayable. Now it's like this could be your one game. I could totally see someone just like, I'm gonna play Streets of Rage 4 nonstop really all year. And it's like I was really impressed by that. We don't have to keep it up there, but
maybe not because there's some strong.
Yeah, so it's a strong one. But I really, really was impressed with Streets, or a game I loved immediately, and I'm like, oh, I love it more now than I ever did before.
We probably don't need to keep Ace Combat 7 up there. I just wanted to shout it out because there was that there was a Steamdeck factor there. It's like this is a game that's on sale, and this was when I had that JRPG burnout. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to play something completely different than this, and I'd never even played the series before. People like this, and they're all right. It's really fun. And especially with scratching an itch in the year that Top Gun Maverick came out, right?
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
so I had fun, and I plan to play more of it.
Hard Space Shipbreaker, we could delete that too. That just went into 1.0 this year, so it's almost not even really an old game, but I played it primarily in
Nope.
Okay. I primarily played it in early access, so for me it's a little bit of an older game. It's one of the best blue collar games ever. It is just about going out there doing the work of cutting these ships apart. Ships start simple, but they get more complicated. Going through the process of safely dismembering them and then putting all the pieces in the right chute. It's pretty straightforward, but in 0G moving around, it just feels like big dangerous work because it is. And then having this great story on top of this meta story of you're someone who's $1 trillion, future dollars in debt. And you see how you just like slowly are working it off over time, but you're really never going to work it off because the company never really does want you to work it off. It's just so well done. I really like it.
I have a code for it. I need to check it out. Flavor 64 is probably the best NSO game we got this year, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a standout one. It's one of the best pick up and play ones, but it's also still like basically that N64 launch game where it's.
This one, like the emulation was good. Like this was the one.
Where the emulation. The emulation is fantastic. Yes, all that stuff. But it's like it's easy to like. You go play Wave Race 64, you do the races, you get to that hard mode, it's super hard. It's like, okay, well, I got to commit to getting good at this game.
Right, you have to really learn, like, going off the waves.
Yes, you got. Oh, I mean, you're never gonna be better than the physics in Wave Race 64 because
It's just fucked up.
they tried.
It's
Yeah.
just fucked
It's
up.
weird that they did it so good right away, and everyone since has just been like,
Yeah.
you can't even match it, let alone surpass it. Man, we can.
I think we keep full.
All right,
I
fucking
think
A,
we
let's leave it up there. Blue Storm's not as good as Wave Race 64.
I don't. Which one do we get rid of?
So right now, for old game of the year, we have 13 Sentinels, Hitman 3, Wave Race 64, and Fall Guys. I'm gonna delete Hitman 3 because that's gonna probably be my old game of the year when that new mode does officially launch in 2020. So right now, I'm happy to go back to it whenever, but it's been that game for forever now.
I'm at a disadvantage here now because I think my pick would be 13 Sentinels. But like you didn't play it, you don't care, and I get that. But I also like Fall Guys and Wave Race 64 a lot, but I'm not like upset about that.
I think we should probably do Fall Guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say now we're not on the same page anyway. Because I would do Wave Race over Fall Guys, honestly.
I'll take Wave Race because I love Wave Race. So
Let's do Wave Race.
All right, let's do Wave Race.
I feel like because you honestly you been waxing poetic about Wave Race for years to the point where it was almost obnoxious, and then I got to play again, and I was like, oh, this is a good game.
And it is poetic when you play. Oh my god, they really just understood water better than anyone ever had. All right, that brings us to our number 2 game of the year. And Mike, you're up first.
Neon White.
This is my game.
This is fucked up. I was gonna say. Just do it then. Just put Elden Ring as your number 2.
Elden Ring is my number 2.
How's Neon? You didn't even beat Neon White.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You didn't even beat it.
It doesn't matter.
I humiliated you into stop playing it, and I like it less than you.
I don't think that's what it means. Maybe you just,
I know it doesn't.
yeah. But it doesn't matter. I don't need to beat it.
Well, never mind. I lost it. I thought I had to fart.
Well, if you do, you should really nail it.
I think I do, but it's going to be small, and I'm embarrassed.
Okay,
you
don't want a little squeaker, yeah.
You just quietly do it as you scream at me.
You don't need, with Neon White, you don't need to beat it. You just need to, find the beauty in starting up a match, starting up a level, or starting up a stream, and saying, all right, everybody, we're going to make some progress in Neon White tonight. And then 4 hours later, you've been on the same level that entire time, and people are watching you lose your goddamn mind, and you don't even care. You could see that it's there's a mental weakness. Something's broken about me, and I don't care that everyone can see it because I just need to squeak out that another, not even half a second, a tenth of a second, a quarter of a thousandth of a second, just to beat Mike, to beat Christian, to beat whoever else I'm racing against. It is so satisfying. It's one of the best games ever at leaderboard chasing.
Oh yeah.
And the fact, I don't know if there's a game that ever has felt as good to go fast in. Sonic the Hedgehog should be fucking embarrassed.
I was about to say, if you played Sonic, I know what you mean. No,
it should be embarrassed that this game's out there doing. Let's go. We got to go fast, and it feels like this, and you could have felt like this the entire time, and you don't. It's incredible.
It's such an first-person platformers are so good, Jeff. When they get them right, and it's hard to. I realized this when I played Jumping Flash 2 back in the day. You Metroid Prime is a bit of that, and I love the original Mirror's Edge, you know that. And yeah, Neon White feels so good to play. Did you know that I am a top 100 Neon White player?
Oh, I didn't know that.
The world. Look, I was so into it. I was just like, all right, yeah, fuck it. This is a goal. Because I remember I got to 1,000, and I messaged my one friend. He kind of egged me on. I was like, yeah, talk to me when you get to 100. And I was like, fuck you. I win. I'll do it. And it was hard. It was I was like, I'm going to do that. And it was great. But it's so fun because first it's well, let me make sure I get, ace on everything. And then I'll get the developer times and everything. And then it's now where can I shave off seconds or half a second so I can inch ever closer to just overall top 100? And it was it's almost this mini game of looking at all these things and seeing what the scores were, and can I do this strategy? And then go to YouTube, and I loved min-maxing it like that. You don't hold the story against it at all. I hold the story against it a little bit.
I just skipped it. I did it on. It doesn't even faze me.
I think that's my
just not beating it. It's just all that stuff doesn't exist. What exists is me and that level.
I think that's my problem, is that I can't skip it and I can't ignore it. I try to engage with it. I try to.
Here's what's impressive to me though, is that I'm playing it my way. And you played it the same way too. You did the same thing, but then you also found it on this other level where it is now I'm doing this global score, this global time, trying to get a top 100 in there and try to find all those seconds all over the place. And it's like, that's a completely different thing. And yet it's very good at that too. It's just, I don't know, it's impressive.
It is. And I mean, the Dreamcast era vibes, which like that Y2K aesthetic is so good.
Soundtrack of the year is actually Neon White.
Yeah, Neon White soundtrack is incredibly
Yeah.
good. Those chill vibes, reach for the heavens.
Mhm.
Even like when you play each level, there's also like you could do the present run, and that's this different
Mhm.
thing where you're kind of searching for something. But I don't know, there is nothing quite like going like knowing what my run should be, knowing how good I should do, and actually grinding it out for like an hour or two. It's great, and then when you finally hit it, it's euphoric, right? Like nothing really feels as good as that.
Yep.
It's incredible when you finally reach that moment when you set that high end goal, and the game is just so good at letting you set those goals and reach those highs. And God, have you even gotten like the best power ups? You haven't gotten the rocket launcher.
No, I've got.
You
I've
got the rocket
I got the
launcher?
rocket
You
launcher.
didn't
Yes,
get
yes.
Yeah, you didn't get the tell. It's so good. It's so like those stuff at the end. The levels keep getting good, and you would almost think there's too many of them, but they keep getting interesting. Yeah, it's fantastic. Definitely a big surprise. I had no idea what this game would have been.
Yeah, I mean, I was seeing it. I was like, cards. That doesn't like.
Right.
I'm not that. I mean, I love speed run games and that stuff, but first person shooter with cards not gonna be my thing.
There was like one level where like to get the best time you had to like do a teleport.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a cheat. Like there's like this crack in the geometry, but not really. And he's like a pixel hunting. So just doing this level a million times so I could somehow click on that pixel. And when you finally do, Jeff, when you finally do,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Hallelujah! It feels so good. Yeah, I freaking love Neon White, but I guess we should talk about Elden Ring now. You're number 2, and I guess my number 1.
My number 2 game of the year is Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're number 1. So yeah,
We'll just talk about that now.
Yeah, fill that in. Elden Ring is a very good video game.
It really is, and I wasn't even that much of a Soulsborne guy, Jeff.
Yeah.
I beat Bloodborne, and I was like, yeah, I like it. I don't quite get it. Then most of the other ones I kind of bounced off of, and I was sort of expecting the same thing here. I don't know why, but making an open world really did. Just adding a little bit of that Breath of the Wild influence in terms of just, you can go explore. It's kind of the opposite of what I was saying with Tunic, where I felt like I would explore and find nothing.
Right.
In this game, no matter where I went, there was something really interesting or something useful I was going to find.
Yeah, it's it also is like it is still a FromSoft game. It's still a blood Soulsborne game where it is always difficult. But the fact that you can walk up to this very difficult wall and be like, okay, I actually can't get past this right now, but I could go in any other direction. And in the back of your mind, every other direction is pretty much just as hard as this, or maybe sometimes way harder. But you think like, maybe I'll find the easy path around. Maybe I'll sneak around and actually get past that. And that sort of mental trick is enough to like be this phantom carrot on the stick to make you think like, I'm just gonna keep playing because I'm gonna find the sneaky way. I'm gonna cheese my way through this world. And sometimes you do cheese your way through bosses, sure, but really what you're doing is you're getting better, more accustomed to the world. You're finding better stuff, and you're getting better at the game. And it's like, oh, suddenly now you are capable of taking on those super hard challenges. And it's like, okay, this is the ideal version of a FromSoft game now, and it does not hurt that on top of all that, the world is the most well-realized fantasy world in any video game.
It's super interesting.
And maybe in any medium ever.
Right, and I love not having like a dialogue sort of shoved down my throat in this game, right?
Yeah.
This is the kind of game where it should be kind of subtext and whispers and hints.
Or it's like, and it's the way it should work in a lot of other stories about like gods fighting and stuff. It should be like happening on another plane of existence to you. It is there. It's above you. If you want to look up and see these massive, iconographic figures fighting against one another, backstabbing one another, yeah, you could look up and see that stuff. But if you're just trying to like scrounge on the ground like a rat and try to survive, like you could still do that, and that stuff will still be happening above you. And it's like, I'm the idea that we went from Skyrim like more than a decade ago, to Breath of the Wild, and now those all feel like they are on a path like a lineage of, here's a big open world, you can go anywhere, you go to that mountain, and it's like in Breath of the Wild, it's like we're gonna add like this physics and interaction system on it, but we're also gonna make sure that everywhere you go, there's a little something, and then Elden Ring's like, everywhere you go, it's not going to be a little something. It is just going to be more of the best game you've ever played.
Right, and it kept being more. The scale of it was ridiculous. It always got bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Then, like, at one point, you think you know how big it is, and you go into this giant underground world, too. Like, how does this exist also? Yeah. But the zeitgeist around it was actually a big part of it.
Yes.
It was fun that it was popular, and everyone was playing it, and everyone was talking about their builds, or what they found here, or how they fought this boss, or maybe you would, like, you know, I played with my brothers a bunch. Maybe we're going to go fight these bosses together. We're going to do some of these hardest fights together, or at least compare notes. And that's also like this way of interaction. It just, like that 2 months playing that game was just some of the most fun I've had with a video game.
Yep.
And again, I wasn't expecting it at all. I did it. Elden Ring to me was just this game that we used to talk about. You had nice leaks on it, and it was great for a channel. I didn't think I would actually care about it.
Yeah, and we said that all throughout that whole time. We're like, guys, this is one we don't even care about. You guys are like freaking out about it. We don't get it. I get it now. I get it, and I'm so glad I get it because it is this. It is a generation-defining game. It is going to be the thing everything is measured against from now on, and should be. And I if it didn't, like, I know there's still a contingent of people it didn't hit with.
Oh, there's always is, but like even. It seems even smaller than like with Breath of the Wild, right?
Yes, I think so.
Good stuff.
All right, so that's our number 2 game. Mine was Elden Ring. His was Neon White. My number 1 game, Neon White. His is Elden Ring. So there you go.
I thought we were going to be on the same Z's on 2 and 1 there for a second.
I mean, I could go honestly, I'd go back and forth on these, but yeah, this is probably my truth.
That's fair. There's part of me that felt like, man, Neon White feels more personal to me.
Right. That's where I'm like. For me, like the digging down on a level is my best gaming experiences. That's like Pac-Man Championship Edition DX and Trials and so many other games where like this is where I'm at my happiest in gaming. Where I'm just Astrobot, you know, it's like and so like that was a game all about that, and it like just kept getting better and better. So I kind of couldn't help. And I'll beat it eventually.
I believe you. I hope I'm there to watch. You'll have a fun time.
Let's do one more category, and then let's check in on our super chats. Favorite new character of the year. We have Andreas Mahler from Pentiment, Odin from God of War Ragnarok, Sexy Cat Girl Boss from Kirby, Joran from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Uni from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Big Man from Splatoon 3.
His name is Big Man, right? We were unsure.
I'm pretty sure it's Big Man.
I'm pretty sure his name is Big Man. I suggested Big Man because everyone likes him. I don't even like Big Man that much. I love him. I think he's got. We talked about maybe a best Poochie category or worst Poochie. I think he's got a little Poochie energy.
I think you're a fucking bastard. How dare you talk about Big Man that way? Big Man is a meep, and he's one of the top meeps.
Of course, he's a meep. All right,
he's a top meep.
He certainly is a meep.
Nick, why do you guys like Jordan so much? I don't think
I don't. Jordan sucks. What do you like Jordan?
Because he reminds me of Bobby Hill from King of the Hill.
You didn't even see his whole extensive character. I told you.
You told me it. Jan's now told me it. I've seen some video of it now. He looks like he's a real shithead. But also it's very funny to me to think of Bobby Hill turning into some evil guy. So
that's
God damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Jordan.
God damn it, Yorin.
Uni, though. Uni.
We could delete Yorin, whatever the fuck his name is.
I'd rather delete Uni, and we were about to actually get into like a rest.
No, I have no real opinions on Uni.
You don't have it? What? You don't like Uni?
I don't not like Uni. I just don't. It was pretty early in the game. I was like, I played 10
that's all you
hours.
need.
I don't feel like I was like.
You took a bath with her.
That's true, but like there was a lot of people in the bath, weren't there?
Yeah, but okay. But like,
there's a sporty girl I think I like.
I don't like I don't like her as much.
Listen,
her voice acting's not. She's the weakest voice acted of the six.
I didn't know we were touching on a nerve here, Mike.
So now you know. I'm glad that you've now caught up. What even is her name?
I don't fucking know. But I didn't know Uni's name either. I mean, it was just too early.
I guess everyone knows Uni's name.
I didn't know.
You say it right after mommy.
Senna.
Senna. Yes, Senna. John Cena.
Bum,
yeah. Uni's so good. Come on.
What do you like about Uni?
Like that she has a gun that kills people. That's fun. A gun staff.
Wait, she has a gun that's people? What?
No, it's a gun that heals people.
Oh, gun
that's people. I know I talk too fast.
The
but
people gun, the gun that is
gun
people.
She's a gun that kills people. She's brave. She's
Okay, all right.
what?
Should I just boulder now so you don't embarrass yourself?
Look. You're the one asking. It's obvious why UD is great. What are you reading? Oh, his name's Alexander, Jeff.
Yeah, but I'm Pop Boy. Pop Friend is good too.
Just say Alexander. Shut up, Sean. She's hot in a respectful way. She's not pathetically trying to be like my mommy Dom. Well, maybe she is, but not like Mithra, you know?
There's a lot of people talking about boobs on here in chat.
Yeah, but like it's yeah.
She's a respectful C cup. Is that what you're
There's somebody later in the game who has like Xenoblade Chronicle 2 boobs. She's like the leader of the city. It is distracting. It's like, oh no, a Xenoblade Chronicle 2 character got in here. And then her daughter has the most annoying voice in maybe video game history, Gondor. Holy shit. But Uni's fantastic. I really like that version of Odin in God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him, but what I have seen, I'm like, man, it's Richard Schiff just fucking nailing it.
I saw somebody, I think it was Matt McMuscles, dismissively say, oh, it's like they made Odin a character from Big Lebowski. And I'm like, yeah. That rules. That's great.
Right, you just described maybe one of the best things that could ever happen. Like, yeah. I'm going to delete Sexy Cat Girl Boss from Kirby. I really like her.
Well, but the joke is done. So
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's fun that at the end of, I'm glad that at the end of a Kirby game, all the characters basically become your friend.
Yeah.
So that's cool, but...
People mad at me for... people like this Gondor character. Jeff, I want... can you right now pull up the voice clip of Gondor?
Yeah, give me a second.
From Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because I need to make sure I'm not crazy. We'll say this. Like GHONDIR, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
I lost it halfway through.
GHONDIR. There it is. Yeah. Xenoblade. Just play this.
I've never been here before.
They might be hearing it. I don't know if we are.
Oh, well, you need to hear it. It's important that you hear this. I need you to understand my pain.
All right, hang on.
My suffering, Jeff.
Oh yeah, can I put on headphones?
Yeah, sure. I don't need to hear it. You skip ahead a bit, because this is like her introduction bullshit. Maybe also spoilers. There she is. That's her.
Please tell us what you know.
Yeah, the one who says bitch queen a lot.
Reason to meet with them.
Yeah.
To bring peace.
Bring peace.
And to
Yeah,
set the
man.
world
Maybe
to
this should have been
rights.
Weeb Game of the Year.
I'm fed up with hearing that sanctimonious
Come on! Oh, guys, come on.
That is...
Guys, they're just trolling you. They don't like that.
Nobody likes that
They're
voice.
trolling you. I Governor.
I want what?
Penny for your thoughts.
What a bitch queen strike!
Maybe this'll hammer it.
Hammer it home!
I'm gonna go sweep a chimney.
The orca!
Mom,
Me and Dick Van Dyke are gonna go sweep a chimney together.
Gotta bruise it and dump him in the
Boy,
trash.
dump it in trash!
Mom.
I don't understand a single word he's saying, but that's even better.
All right, you can stop. You can save that now. Look, I fucking hated that voice, and she is in the game way more than I thought she would be towards the end, and I did not like it. She's even there like somehow she's there at the end, and I was like, "Get the fuck
What are you
here!
doing? Nobody wants you here.
Go! Leave!"
All right, so Gondor not gonna make the list.
Fucking fuck off. Andreas Mahler. Mahler? How do you say it?
Mahler.
Maller. This is the main character of Pentiment. Which is interesting because he can be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, but I mean, I what I really like is because he's a sounding board for you, but he also he can't. What I like about him is he can't talk his way out of everything. Just because you have a cool skill, a lot of times you're gonna say use that skill. I had like the lawyer skill, so I knew the law, and I'd be like, well, according to the law, and literally every time, people would be like, shut the fuck up, we don't care. You're being a fucking nerd right now. No one cares, and I love that. And it's like, and yet he sometimes couldn't help himself, and it's like I kind of those were my choices, but the fact that he could do that and the characters, it still felt like Mahler.
But there are some consistent things about him. He's this artist who is like trying to figure out his future and can become disillusioned with that and all these different things. And those things always happen. and they are always interesting. And the fact that you can give them your own little twists here and there kind of make your connection with them even better.
Yeah, I really like him. There are other characters from that game too, but I think Muller's probably the should stand out.
Yeah.
Um,
Get rid of Big Man. Come on. Who cares?
fair enough.
Who
I'm gonna tell Addie. She's gonna be so mad at you.
Addie can come at me. She's a child. I can win.
All right. Don't kick my kid. Don't punt my child.
Kick the baby.
Alex pot friend Ander.
Alexander.
Okay, one of the top moments of the year is him just saying like, "Slap me on the behind to get out of that hole."
Yeah.
And that's pretty good stuff. But maybe moment of the year, not best character.
Wait, it's the best character from Elden Ring. Him, or is it the Dung Eater? What's he called? The deplorable Dung Eater.
Yeah, deplorable dung eater. Yeah, I kind of avoided the dung eater.
Me too. Because
I was not very much into the idea of a man who eats dung. And apparently, he does even grosser shit than that.
Well, I mean, I'm a coward, so I looked like, how do I get endings? And I know that he leads to a bad ending. Bad ending. I was like, fuck off. I'm gonna go with the hot blue witch lady.
Yeah,
instead.
right, of course.
Like,
Yes.
what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Hey, big uni vibes over here. But yeah, Alexander was fun. And I like having a character like that kind of shows up every now and then throughout the game.
Right.
I'm not blown away.
We'll delete him.
Delete him.
He was more fun as a meme before the game came out.
Yeah.
Not that he was not great in the game. He was
Yeah.
great, obviously. Yes, I killed the dung eater as well and got the stuff you can get from him.
I didn't kill him.
It's like it's a choice. Like you definitely miss out
I
on
mean,
some stuff.
he's eating shit, literally. I don't know if I need to kill him too.
I mean, you get
Yeah.
some decent stuff. Right.
All right, Jeff. So, unless you bold uni, I quit the show.
Right. That's a interesting proposition. Let me think. I'll bold uni. Fine.
Well, now I feel bad.
No. It's no. I think that's fine. I don't feel strong about any of these characters.
You don't feel strong about Andreas?
No, I love Andreas, but like not as strong as you feel about uni. I would be like, let's just go with Odin because I really like Richard Schiff, but just because he's an actor.
Yeah, he's not nearly as hot as you.
Speak for yourself.
Well, good. I feel glad then. Well, like how because of the latest worth, we ended on my thirst for uni instead of on our game.
I mean,
of
listen,
the
it
year.
wouldn't be Game Best decides any other
Were we
way.
just talking about how we had that waifu episode that went off the rails?
Yes, and
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, that's too bad.
All right, Mike. Why don't you read some of these super chats?
That's right.
for the
There are
folks?
more of those, aren't there? Last
Yes.
chance to get those in, everybody. We're wrapping up here. Burrito, we got. Oh, Shrek, I believe, is new.
Yes.
Love you, what you guys do. Happy holidays and a happy new year. Same to you, Shrek. And Hero in Time says, I'm building a plywood shelf this week for my new 75-pound CRT and my retro consoles. Do you keep a CRT around for retro gaming? Love you, Uncle Dad.
You do.
I have my childhood CRT, and to be honest, it's probably not in great shape. Like, I kind of want to get a new one. That's part of why, like, I was excited to get that GameCube adapter.
Right. This is why I'm getting a Mister because I
Right.
don't want to bring a
CRT is not a permanent solution anymore.
I desperately want to bring a CRT into my house, but yes, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm like, I spend months trying to track down one, have to spend way more money than I want to spend on it, and then what if it dies and like, or not even dies, like it just kind of sucks a little bit, like something just breaks a little bit.
Kind of where mine is.
Like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. That sounds like a nightmare. If CRTs were long for this world, I would be all in, but I jumping in on a sinking ship is so depressing to me. I don't want to do it.
Epic Open World says, best moment / sequence that evolved you and Riker. You have more of these than I do. I still can't get over I'm thinking that Mickey Mouse is some obscure character from like the olden times.
Yeah, we just he wanted to know now Mickey Mouse versus Superman.
So Mickey Mouse. They can't even get a Superman movie greenlit.
Well, don't say that because then they'll be like, well, they can't get a Mickey Mouse movie greenlit. They're not making Mickey Mouse
They're
movies.
making a zillion other things. It's not what it's about.
Just devil's advocate, and Dan
He's-
Riker
yeah,
is
he
the
thinks-
devil.
That's what he says. Like Mickey Mouse hasn't been in movies since Fantasia. Well, that's not the point, Dan.
Nick Turbo says, hey, what about Discord responses? We are running short on time. We have an episode. We're going to do something next week.
Yeah.
We'll bring those in there so
Yeah,
that
it's
the
like- that makes
community
sense.
game of the years can we just.
I have to beat this storm still that's coming. So
Yes, it's gonna it's raining and that's gonna freeze.
Yeah.
We got to get him home. Before
Stop
that.
trying to kill me, everybody.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're all gonna feel so bad.
Wow.
Next one here. Oh wait, what's yours with Dan? What is your best moment with Dan?
Best moment or sequence that involved you and Dan Reichert. I mean, the best moment or sequence that involved me and Dan Reichert ever was just, well, I mean, this year beat him in the Neon White. I did to him what you did to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, scared him
Well,
away.
because I remember I messaged him on Twitter like, "Hey, what's your Steam friend so we can get Neon White thing?" Here you go, and he said, "Don't beat my time." That's what he said.
But the best time ever is, I mean, you could see it. It's still on Twitter when he was beating my time in Astrobot. But while he was doing it, I was beating it like even more. So he was like so excited about like improving his time and beating better than me. And then I was like a full second ahead of him when he actually checked, and he just got so defeated. It's a great moment. You should just go watch it.
Next one here is from Bon Diesel. Jeff over here typing like my aunt. Well, Merry Christmas, fellas.
It's hard to go. I gotta go around.
L. Grug says, hot take, Final Fantasy 16 looks more weeby than Xenoblade 3. Not as much as Neon. Dude, they fucking Final Fantasy 16. Come on.
Yeah, because it's
Weebs don't fuck.
because I got a tip from somebody who's like, when that game comes out, you're gonna feel really vindicated about the Game of Thrones stuff. I don't know if that's true. I haven't confirmed that. What would I confirm there?
Is he trying to tell you there's incest in it?
I don't know. Like, I was like wondering, like, what could that possibly mean?
mean?
Yeah, it's kind of what I was wondering.
Oh, I hope there's incest in it.
Yeah, me too.
Green Thumb says, happy holidays, love this Game of the Year format. Didn't finish many games this year, but loved Kirby, Neon White, and Tiny Ken. Honorable mention goes to Elden Ring, Tunic, Pentiment, and Return to Monkey Island. Thank you so much. The Uncharted Wolf says, Jeff not beating his Game of the Year is so in character.
That's right.
I love it. Firehair says, happy holidays all. Thanks for the amazing times. Thank you, Firehair. Jedi Moss 4 says, Mike, please show Jeff that photo from Xeno 3. You know the one, the most audacious thing in that game. I would have to explain, Jeff, the context for it. I might have to do it off stream because it's a big spoiler and I don't want to... It's incredible. I think I did tell you about it, actually, Jeff.
I think you tried.
It went over your head.
Without the context, I forgot every single word you might have said.
It's incredible, though. If you beat Xenoblade Chronicles 3, you know what I'm talking about. Holy shit. Elgrug says, money to keep Mike from leaving. I like that. I think there's more under that, Jeff.
I'm scrolling down.
Was that the last one? No, that is the last one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That is it. Oh, thank you, Elgrug. All right.
Cool.
That's that.
Well, yeah, it was a pretty good show, Mike.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I want you to slow dance with me
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
as we close this one out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play some absolutely. Oh wait. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Game Master aside, just have to figure out times for next week. We're trying to do whenever.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it whenever, everybody. No, I just stuck on Mario.
Are we gonna know? No, you're gonna put anything in later.
Yeah, we're gonna music in later. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
All right, bye, everybody.
Batman is dead.
Hit me.
All right, this is just for YouTube now, I guess. All right, let's wrap this up. Thanks again for watching, everybody.
Yes, thank you, everyone. That was fun.
All right, but I'm gonna stop the stream. Have a good one. You're in this storm. Be safe. Go get some water. Fill your bathtubs with a bunch of water, so you got like plenty of gray water to flush your toilets and stuff. Bye, everybody.
Bye.